Ms. Phoenix, we're still waiting on Mr. Zan, but I had a question for you, unrelated to the case.
Hold on, let me turn my thing on. There we go. Yes, sir.
So on your, I'm having trouble locating your exhibits. And, oh, you know what? Maybe she saved them in the iDrive. Let me look one other place. Let's see, I bet that's where they are. Yeah, there they are. I've got them. Never mind. I just normally when I try a case, I take them out of the shared folder and I move them into my own so that I just make sure I have them. And so I didn't do that on this case, but I've got them.
Okay, thank you, Judge. Trying to get my questions together so we can move along.
Mr. Zander, you ready?
I am, Your Honor. I think my client's just trying to get the camera up on the computer downstairs.
No.
Lynn, if you'll just slide it up on the back, Lynn.
Oh. Oh, there we go. Sorry.
Court's back on the record in cause number 20 DCV 271334, the Hodges matter. Ms. Phoenix, you may continue with this witness.
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Hodges, thank you. What is an emotional support animal? What is your dog is an emotional support dog?
Yes.
What does that mean? What is it?
Judge, I'm going to object as to relevance related to whether the dog's an emotional support dog and what that means.
Overruled.
It means that I need to have her with me when I'm alone for emotional support.
Do you take her to work every day?
I'm not alone at work.
That's not the question. She said, do you
No.
take her to work every day? Thank you.
No.
Where do you take her?
I don't understand.
If you need her for emotional support, what type of places do you take the dog?
Anywhere
This
but-
is justice.
Anywhere but work that I'm going to, or any place I'm going to be alone.
When did your mother give you $50,000, Miss?
I don't
Hodges?
remember. Ms. Phoenix, I don't remember the date. I provided that to you in the past.
Okay, well, I'm showing that your mother gave you $50,000, 11/28, looks like 18.
No, I believe it was 17, but I don't know that for a fact.
Well, I'm looking at your Wells Fargo statement.
Is that the one we provided?
Let me see, I'm sure it is.
What's the
That's
Bates number?
4LH000351,
No, but is that exhibit? What's the exhibit number
42.
on ours or yours?
Petitioners, 42.
Okay. Yes, 11/28/2018.
Okay. And if you will go back to page 1 of this exhibit, 1 of 6,
Which exhibit?
exhibit number petitioners 42.
Mhm.
Whose names are on this account?
The respondent and mine.
Okay, so would you agree there's some commingling going on in this account, ma'am?
No, ma'am, that was a gift to me. My mother has never even met.
Ma'am, There
No,
was some commingling going on?
Oh.
in
Judge,
this
it's been
account?
asked and answered. It was no.
Overruled. You may answer that, ma'am.
I said no.
Why would there not be commingling when your name and his name are on the account?
Because I don't believe it's commingling when it's a gift.
So everything goes by what you think and what nobody else thinks matters, huh?
No, ma'am, there is a law.
Well, you said it was commingling when his retirement money was going into your joint account. So how do you distinguish this from the retirement money?
It was a gift.
Yeah, but it went into the account. It doesn't matter what it was. It went into your joint account. And you
Ask-
said as long as it goes into the joint account, it's commingling.
Ma'am, it was a gift.
I didn't ask you whether it was a gift or not. I said, is it commingling?
I said no.
Asked
I
and answered,
asked
Your
Mr.
Honor.
Okay, I'll move on, Judge. Thank you.
Calls for a legal conclusion. So let's move on.
I'll move on, Judge. Miss Hodges, on this money that came in on
What money?
11/28, the 50,000. Are you looking at that on page 3 of 6?
No, but I'll go back to it. Hold on. Yes,
Where is it indicated that this 50,000 came from your mother?
the bank.
Where on this statement, or where would it be?
I don't have a Wells Fargo credit service account. It's from my mother.
Where is your mother's name?
It's not, it's directly to me. I called the bank, asked them for these particular two transactions from my mother, and this is what they provided me, this and the copy of that check.
So you don't have any proof other than you saying today that it's from your mother, but there's no document that has your mother's name on it.
No, but I
showing
do not
that she
have that
provided
account.
it.
The evidence is that I don't have an account at that number with the 102-461. I've provided you all my bank accounts, and that is not one of them.
I understand you may not have a bank account there, but there's nothing that shows it came from your mother, correct?
Now, that's my mother's bank account number, not mine.
There's no way to identify that this is your mother's bank account, correct?
It's not mine. That's the way to
Okay.
identify it.
It's not yours. It could be anybody's, right? We
No.
don't have any proof that it's your mother's account, do we?
Yes, it's my mother's bank account number, not mine.
I understand you're saying that, but I'm saying there's no proof that it's your mother's bank account, right?
Asked and answered, Miss Phoenix.
You didn't answer it, Ms.
Yes, yes, I did. That's I said it. That is my mother's bank account number. I do not have an account in that number. I would have provided those statements to you. I
Just
provided
because-
every document you've asked for, every
Just
document.
because you provided this document, ma'am, doesn't prove that this is your mother's bank account, right?
Yes, it does. I also provided
How?
you with a copy of my mother's check from Wells Fargo.
From the same bank account?
That I don't know. I'm not personally aware of my mother's banking practices or how many accounts she has.
Nobody asked you that, Ms. Hodges.
Okay, well, you asked me how I'm identifying it as my mother's. I was answering that question.
Do you cook, Ms. Hodges?
Yes,
Have you been taking money out of your retirement accounts?
to pay Mr. Zan.
Which accounts did you take the money out of?
Deferred comp.
How much did you take out?
I don't remember the exact number, 13,000 something.
Do you recall Mary Molina testifying about,
Mary Valise, you mean?
just one moment. Do you recall Mary Molina testifying about your belief that your husband was having an affair?
Judge, I'm going to object that there's been no additional testimony at this time other than Miss Hodges.
Dang.
Yes, I think this exhibit R54, let me see if it's in.
I believe it's just a misstatement of the question, Miss Phoenix. There's been no additional testimony, ma'am.
No, I'm just saying based on her, Miss Mary Molina testified.
You mean Mary Valise, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I have her down as Mary Molina.
She was married last March.
Her deposition is in evidence.
Yes, it's in evidence. You recall that she testified about your statement, your belief that Mr. Hodges was having an affair?
Judge, I'm going to object as to the form of the question again, because there has been no additional testimony in this case. So if the question needs to be reworded to be, I guess, the appropriate question, I would have no issue. But testimony, Judge, in this case, I think presents the false impression.
All right.
Yes.
Overruled. You may answer that, ma'am.
Okay, can you re-ask?
I said, do you recall that Mary Valise testified about your belief that Mr. Hodges was having an affair? Do you recall that?
No, I recall her testifying at the deposition, but I don't recall anything she said.
Okay. It says here on page 7 of Mary Valise's deposition.
What exhibit is that, ma'am?
It is exhibit number 54R, R54.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, and what page, ma'am?
7.
7?
Yes.
Okay, let me get a 7. Hold on. Okay. What line?
Line 7. Or really starting with line 3.
Okay.
And it says that you thought that Mr. Hodges was cheating on you. And did she say with whom? Not that I remember. Did she show you any documents or anything to support her claim of infidelity? I listened to a voice message that she had, and I guess some stuff she had on her phone, like text messages or something. No, she had put something on his car, I think, to see where he was at. And I think she was able to see it on her phone. It must have been an app or something. I don't know what it was. Do you recall that testimony?
No, not till I'm just reading it.
Okay. So do you have something on your phone or something that supports your claim of infidelity?
No, I do not.
Okay. Did you show something to Mary? Was her statement correct? That you showed her something on your cell phone and a recording?
No.
Okay.
I can hear someone else talking. What's going on? Because I can't see. Are you whispering or someone else?
Her client's whispering to her.
Oh, okay.
Ms. Hodges, if you thought that Mr. Hodges was having an affair, and I believe with more than one woman, why did you stay with him?
I was in my house. Why did he stay with me?
Well, I understand,
I
but
wasn't going to leave
why did
my
you stay
residence.
in? No, no, no. I'm not saying you had to leave your residence. You don't have to leave the residence to leave the marriage.
Okay.
So why did you stay with him?
Because we were supposed to go to counseling on the night of the 11th to try to work things out. The day he left, he didn't show up. I thought he was going to make an honest effort to save the marriage, but I was incorrect.
So this was before or after you put all his stuff out on the curb?
When
Yes.
Mary, what in reference, I don't understand what you're
I'm
asking.
saying, when did you put all his stuff out on the curb? At what point?
When I came home and I saw his stuff was gone. So
What was gone, Miss Hodges?
he cleaned out his desk. His desktop was gone. His printer was gone. All the stuff in the desk drawers, all his clothes, all his, like, I would call it personal hygiene, but you know, that razor, all his shoes, coats, all that stuff was gone from the closets. And then like I said, the desk and he had a file cabinet and I had one. His file cabinet was emptied also. There was just the little hanging folders left.
He put all that in a Prius?
I have no idea, ma'am.
Y'all have been sleeping in separate beds for some time, isn't that correct?
Yes, because he refused to wear his CPAP and I couldn't sleep with his snoring. He has sleep apnea.
Okay. And did Mary move in with you at some point?
Yes, when she was going through her divorce.
And Mr. Hodges gave up the bedroom and Mary slept in the bedroom, correct?
Mr. Hodges wasn't sleeping in the bedroom then. He was sleeping in our room. I was wearing earplugs and everything I could think of to clog my ears. He didn't move into the bedroom till after she moved out.
You mean the extra bedroom that she was in?
Right.
Okay.
And I think she lived with us for like 9-10 months, maybe. I don't remember exactly.
So Ms. Hodges, do you have any personal property to return to Mr. Hodges at the end of this divorce?
I don't know what you mean by personal property.
Mr. Hodges has some personal property still at the residence,
Yes,
correct?
we went over that this morning.
And are you prepared to return that personal property to him?
Yes, I explained that this morning also, and so did Mr. Zan.
Okay. Just one moment, Judge. I may be moving on.
Can't hear you.
Okay.
I
Ma'am?
said just one moment.
Okay, sorry.
Ms. Hodges, tell the court what your education level is and where you went to school, what kind of degree you have, if you have one.
I have 2 degrees. I have a Bachelor of Science in Criminal Justice from Lamar University in Beaumont, and I have a master's degree in Sociology and Criminology from the University of Houston at Clear Lake.
What's your job experience, Ms. Hodges? Where have you worked?
I work for the City of Houston,
Where did you work before that?
the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
What did you do?
I started out as a parole officer and then became a unit supervisor.
Okay, where'd you work before then?
I'm trying to think, Ms. Phoenix. I believe it was the Texas Attorney General. I was a child support enforcement officer.
Okay. Most of your experience, it looks like, has been with the state or city.
Yes, ma'am. Government agencies.
Okay, and what jobs have you had for the city of Houston?
I can't hear you, ma'am.
What jobs have you had for the city of Houston? What have you
What
done?
positions?
Yes.
I was a legal assistant for the city attorney. Then I got promoted and I was the administrative assistant to the chief of police. Then I was promoted again to budget coordinator. And then I was promoted to a financial analyst 3.
And that's what you're doing right now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Just one moment, Judge. I think I'm close to passing.
Okay.
Yeah, there it goes. There we go. Okay, Miss Hodges, I just have a couple more questions.
Okay.
Why is it that you and Mr. Hodges don't really have any savings?
I don't know. I don't know about Mr. Hodges.
Well, when you were together.
We never had any joint accounts that we elected to
Well,
save.
You have a joint account. I'm looking at one right here.
I know, but it was not to save.
So why have y'all not saved any money?
I've had expenses. I don't know about him.
Yeah. But your house is paid for.
Yes, ma'am.
You have no mortgage. You have no rent payment to make. It would seem that y'all should have been able to put together or save quite a bit of money together. What's the deal?
Mr. Hodges refused to involve each other in our accounts.
But why didn't you take control? You seem to be a control type person.
So is Mr. Hodges, and I have no idea.
And I've noticed that even in your 401k and those things, you're not really saving a whole lot either. And you need your mother to give you $50,000.
I didn't need my mother. My mother sent that without me ever speaking to her. So I have no idea. My mother does what my mother chooses to do. I don't have control over her.
So your mother just gives you money out of the blue.
Yes, ma'am. My
And
mother
I
is
know
89 years old. She can do exactly what she wants.
And I noticed that your credit cards were maxed out. You ended up having to pay in your credit cards, right?
I didn't understand.
I said you ended up paying your credit cards with that money, right?
I paid for it and some other things. Yes, ma'am.
You maxed out your credit cards?
No,
Well, they were pretty high.
I would say they have high balances, but they're not maxed out.
What do you spend your money on, Ms. Hodges?
My taxes, my HOA dues, my car note, the dog's treatment, groceries, insurance, car insurance, home insurance.
He's paying the car and home insurance.
No, he's not. He had USAA drop me back last June. I've been paying it since June 22nd. I have two separate policies with State Farm,
For your house or your car?
both.
So you're paying both?
Yes, I've been paying it since June 22nd when he had USAA drop me.
Okay. Pass the witness.
Mr. Zan?
Thank you, Judge. Ms. Hodges, I want to go through some clarification on some matters that Ms. Phoenix asked you about, and I'll start with the most recent,
Okay.
specifically dealing with the gift funds provided by your mother that Ms. Phoenix just questioned you about. On those documents, specifically exhibit, let me pull it back up. It's exhibit number 42.
Okay. I'm there.
You provided in your
Petitioner or respondent?
petitioner's exhibit, Ms. Phoenix, petitioner's
Okay.
exhibit number 42.
Thank you. Excuse me.
Ms. Hodges, Ms. Phoenix questioned you about a $50,000 deposit into you and Mr. Hodges' joint checking account at Wells Fargo. On that $50,000 deposit, can you tell the court whose name is notated next to that transaction?
My name, Lynn Hodges.
And on the check that is on the last page of that document, can you tell the court whose name is written on that check in the amount
Lynn
of
Hodges.
$25,000?
Lynn Hodges.
So it's your understanding, and these documents reflect that these funds that were provided by your mother are directed solely to you. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain to the court why these funds would not be distributed to both you and Mr. Hodges as a gift to the both of you?
My mother did not even know that I married Mr. Hodges, and she's never met him or even knows of his existence.
So if your mother doesn't know that you're married to Mr. Hodges or doesn't even know that Mr. Hodges exists, could she make a gift to him?
No. And in fact, my father
Objection after no.
Sustain.
Is your father living, Ms. Hodges?
No, he passed away in February of 2013.
Did your father include you within any inheritance documents or wills?
No.
Okay. Do you know if you're included in any inheritance documents relating to your mother's estate?
I do not know.
And then I want to go on to the withdrawals out of your deferred compensation. I
Okay.
heard Ms. Phoenix asked you some questions about why did you withdraw funds from your deferred compensation? And you stated that you pulled approximately $13,000 out to pay myself, my law firm. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Have you pulled any of your deferred compensation funds, withdrawn those funds for any other reason other than to pay legal expenses in this matter?
Yes, in the previous years, I had to withdraw money every year to pay our joint income tax because Mr. Hodges refused to pay it And since we were filing joint, I didn't want to be in trouble with the IRS like he'd been in the past.
So the two reasons that you provided to the court thus far for reasons to withdraw funds out of your retirement account are to pay IRS tax debts and to pay legal expenses. Any other reasons, ma'am?
No, sir.
All right, to your knowledge, did the court institute injunctions while this case was pending?
Yes, it instituted temporary restraining orders that said expenses could only be spent on essentials or necessary expenses.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask the court to take judicial notice of the orders issued by this court on, it appears they were filed with the clerk on May 29th of 2020, Judge, and those are the standing temporary mutual injunctions, divorce, no children,
Any
filed
objection,
by the court.
Ms. Phoenix, to me taking judicial notice of that document?
No objection.
What will take judicial notice of the standing mutual restraining order?
And Ms. Hodges, Ms. Phoenix questioned you about certain expenses of Mr. Hodges in his bank account, which you summarized in spreadsheets. Specifically, dinners were one of them. You recall that line of questioning in your testimony?
Yes, sir.
Why do you believe that dinners, if Mr. Hodges expended money on these dinners, would be classified as a waste claim?
Because we elected constructive fraud, so it falls on the respondent to prove where the money went.
Objection, Judge. This calls for a legal conclusion. She's not an attorney.
Sustain.
Well, let's go specifically to the dinners, Ms. Hodges. Do you
Okay.
believe that the dinners that are expended in Mr. Hodges' bank records are necessary expenditures in your opinion?
No, sir,
Why do you not believe they are?
because of the dollar amount. He's not ever made dinner expenses before with clients or anything else. And again, it's his obligation to prove that what they were spent on.
Well, let me stop you there. You stated that he's never made dinner expenses like this before. So prior to the filing of your divorce, to your knowledge, did Mr. Hodges expend at dinners the amount of money he was expending post-divorce?
Never.
Cash withdrawals, let's go on to that. Prior to your divorce being filed, did Mr. Hodges have cash withdrawals in the amounts that he has post-divorce?
Never.
Expenditures at stores such as Walmart and Best Buy, to your knowledge, did Mr. Hodges ever expend money like that prior to the divorce being filed?
Never.
Do you believe that the cash withdrawals are necessary expenditures that would comply with the injunctions that the court has ordered?
No,
Why not?
because his history in the past, I mean, at most he would draw $300 or $400 a month, and all of a sudden he's withdrawing several thousand post-divorce. And again, it's his obligation to prove where that cash went, and he's not been able to do that or provided any evidence.
You're asking that this court consider as a waste claim the checks or the amounts written on checks from Mr. Hodges' banking accounts. Is that correct, Ms. Hodges?
Yes, sir.
Why do you believe the court should consider the funds written on checks to be a waste claim?
Again, he provided no copies of the checks, so we don't know who they were written to or what for. So at this, we're back to the constructive fraud, and he needs to be able to prove where they went. And at this point, he's not done that. And in addition, he's not provided all the statements Judge Bell ordered him to at our last hearing. We have nothing from July to the current.
Has formal discovery, to your knowledge, been conducted and performed in this case, Ms. Hodges?
Yes, on our part, it has.
And in all the discovery responses that we provided to you that we've received from Ms. Phoenix's office, did any of those bank statements provide copies of written checks issued by Mr. Hodges?
No, sir.
So all the checks that Ms. Hodges, or that Ms. Phoenix, excuse me, referenced in her questioning of you and had you look at, for example, I'm going to have you pull them up, Ms. Hodges, and if you'll go
Okay.
to exhibit, pull it back up. Let's go to exhibit 5, for example.
Okay, just a second. Let me get there.
And you can pull it aside so you can still see me if
Yeah.
that'll help.
Uh-huh. This is the one for February 1st through February 28th or July.
Correct.
Or, I mean,
Right. This
okay.
is at the, I would ask for you to pull this up. This will, is this at the beginning of your divorce, ma'am?
Yes, February
Okay.
11th was. Mhm.
And I want you to look at the bottom of page 1 where it's titled checks paid, and then below that, checks paid on page 2.
Right, goes on to page 2.
That total amount of $8,335, and I think it's 5 cents or 6 cents. I think it's 5 cents.
Okay,
You've referenced that amount in your spreadsheet that is attached as exhibit number 23, correct?
yes,
On any of these checks, check number 6424 all the way down to 8374, have you ever seen a copy of those checks, Ms. Hodges?
no, sir.
So you have no knowledge of who 6424 or 6649 was issued to, do you?
No, sir.
All we know is the amount that was issued, correct?
The amount, the date, and the check number. Yes, sir.
So we have no knowledge as to who it was issued to or whether it was even a necessary expenditure as the court previously ordered, do you?
No, I do not.
And just to clarify this justice issue with your dog named Justice,
Yes,
I
sir.
want you to reference what has been previously marked and entered into exhibit as, let me pull it up so I get the right one moment.
Okay.
Respondent's sworn inventory, which is marked as petitioner's exhibit number 3, Ms. Hodges. If you could do me a favor and open that, ma'am. And then once you
Okay.
have it open, if you could go to page 6.
Okay. I don't have a exhibit number. Oh, I'm on 5. No, I'm on 3. I only have a page 1.
Petitioner's exhibit number 3.
Oh, petitioners. I'm sorry. Pardon me. I'm in the wrong folder. Okay, I'm there.
Are you on page 6?
Hold on. I believe so. What is on page 6? Is that the
So I'm going
members?
to ask that you look at what's been marked as subsection B labeled pets.
Are you saying P or B?
B is in
Okay.
boy.
I got it.
Okay. And can you tell me what is under pets?
It says Justice Chocolate Lab Retriever, current value not applicable, separate property of wife, date acquired 2008, how acquired, gift.
In this document that you're referencing and reading from, whose document is this?
It's the respondent.
And is this verified by Mr. Hodges?
Yes, it's signed at the bottom by him also.
And if you refer to page 7 of that document, is there a verification on that document signed by Mr. Hodges and notarized?
Yes, sir.
And at the top of that verification, can you read that first line, which starts I, Gary F. Hodges?
I, Gary F. Hodges, state oath that to the best of my knowledge and belief, this inventory and appraisement contains. Do you want me to continue on?
No,
Oh,
I think we can read on from there on out, but to the best of his knowledge and belief.
yes,
And he stated in that document that you just read previously that Justice is your separate property and was acquired as a gift. Is that correct?
yes,
Miss Phoenix asked you some questions about why do you believe gas is a waste claim? And you don't necessarily believe that every penny spent on gas is waste, do you, Ms. Hodges?
No,
Objection leading, Judge.
Sustained.
Can you explain, your answer earlier was that you believe gas is a waste. I want to clarify that with the court. Do you believe that all gas expenditures are waste claims, Ms. Hodges?
No, not all, but he has an excessive amount of gas that he's not spent in the past on a monthly basis. So I believe that was for pleasure. And again, it's
Objection
So what?
to additional, there's not a question before the witness.
Sustained is non-responsive. It's been answered.
The expenditures that you've highlighted as waste in your documents and referenced in the bank accounts
Yes, sir.
made by Mr. Hodges, Ms. Hodges, do you believe that those expenditures comply with the intents of the temporary restraining order, mutual restraining order issued by this court?
no, they do not,
Why not, ma'am?
because they're excessive in his way past his normal pattern of spending. And again, we allege constructive fraud, so the burden falls on him to prove where all that money and expenses.
Objection, that she's making a legal conclusion, Judge, and she's not trained, qualified to do so.
Sustained.
Have you pled for constructive fraud, Ms. Hodges?
Yes, I have.
Do you believe that there's waste made by
Yes.
Mr. Hodges out of this community estate?
Absolutely.
Do you believe that Mr. Hodges has complied with the restraining order, which limits what you can spend community resources on?
No, he is not.
Do you recall Mr. Hodges being questioned about the injunctions that are in place at his deposition?
Yes,
Do you recall what Mr. Hodges' response was in regards to the injunctions?
he said he didn't know that he couldn't spend that amount of money.
And do you recall Mr. Hodges being questioned about the ATM withdrawals and the cash
Yeah.
withdrawals?
Yes,
Do you recall what Mr. Hodges' response was at his deposition?
he had one of two responses. I don't know, or I don't remember.
Do you believe, well, strike that. At his deposition, was Mr. Hodges able to ever explain what any ATM or cash withdrawal was used for?
No, sir.
So if Mr. Hodges testifies today that he suddenly recalls what these ATM cash withdrawals were used for, would that surprise you?
Yes,
Do you believe that expenditures on dating apps are necessary expenditures, Ms. Hodges?
no,
Ms. Phoenix asked you a question at the very end of her close of questioning, why you and Mr. Hodges don't have any savings. Can you tell the court why you believe Mr. Hodges does not have any savings, ma'am?
because he blows every nickel he's ever gotten.
At this point in time, being that you're in the middle of a divorce case, incurring expenses, are you capable of saving money at this time, Ms. Hodges?
I am not.
And why is that, ma'am?
Well, partly because I'm paying your fee. I have, even though I don't have a mortgage, I still have property taxes, HOA dues, and home insurance that I pay, and other house expenses. And then, of course, I have the dog expenses.
Do you know whether Mr. Hodges has any form of retirement benefits, ma'am?
No, I do not.
Do you know whether Mr. Hodges has an IRA?
He initially provided us with statements showing that, but he's never provided any in over a year, so I'm not sure where it is now.
Based on the previous statements Mr. Hodges provided you, were there any funds in his IRA to your knowledge?
Yes, there were.
Do you know where those funds are now or whether they have been spent?
Well, he actually had two IRAs. The first one, which was over, it was like 55.
Objection, non-responsive, Judge.
Sustain.
How many IRAs are you aware that Mr. Hodges has, ma'am?
He had two.
Okay. Do you know who they were with?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you know where the funds in those IRAs are at this time?
No, I don't. Well,
Do you know-
yes, I do. I know where
Do you know?
the first
do you-
one, I don't know about the second one.
Okay. In regards to the first IRA you're referencing, Respondent's Chase IRA, I think is what you're referencing. Is that correct?
No, he had another IRA. I don't recall who it was with, but he had it eventually transferred to Chase.
I'm going to reference you to what's been marked as Petitioner's Exhibit number 36, Ms. Hodges. Can you open that document up, ma'am?
Sure. Okay, I'm there.
Is this the first retirement plan you're referencing?
This is mine. I'm talking about he had two IRAs.
This is the Chase retirement, ma'am. I think if you're not looking at the Respondent's Chase
Oh, I'm at
IRA, that's
Respondent 36. I'm sorry, it's Petitioner's 36.
Petitioner's Exhibit 36. I'm sorry.
Oops. This one, hold on. Let me get to that folder. Okay, I'm there.
And is this the first IRA that you were just mentioning to the court?
Yes,
Okay. And can you tell the court what the initial balance was as of January 1st? It looks, or actually ending value as of 6/30/2013?
it's 26,877.36, but this is not the first one.
Were there additional funds in this account prior to?
Yeah. Yes, there was double this amount. There was almost 55,000, and he made two withdrawals and deposited them into his Chase account.
Do you know if these funds were acquired during the marriage?
I'm not sure when they were acquired. I know that he put them into our account during the marriage.
Okay. And then what's the ending balance on the last statement provided ending June 30th of 2020?
Hold on, let me scroll down. $2,221.86.
Do you know where these funds, if it started off in 2013 with over $26,000 and now it's ending in $2,000, do you know where all the funds went, Ms. Hodges?
Yeah, he deposited them into his Chase account, but I don't know what he spent them on.
Do you know if these funds, well, you said that you don't know where they went, so you don't know if they were spent on community debts, community obligations, do you?
No.
Who was responsible for the tax obligation regarding these funds that were withdrawn from the IRA?
I was.
So just so I'm clear, Ms. Hodges, Mr. Hodges withdrew the funds, deposited them into an account, and you were responsible for the tax obligation associated with the monies withdrawn?
Yes.
Did Mr. Hodges provide you any assistance in paying those taxes financially?
No.
How did you pay the taxes? Out of your sole account?
No, I borrowed from my deferred comp.
So the taxes you mentioned earlier that you paid out of your deferred comp, these were also taxes incurred by Mr. Hodges for withdrawals out of his retirement accounts. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Did Mr. Hodges ever contribute towards the community tax obligation, IRS tax obligation?
1 year he did. In the 7 years or whatever, from 2015 on. He gave me $6,500 one year when our tax bill, I think, was 12 or 14,000. I don't remember exactly, but it was pretty significant. And I couldn't borrow that much out of my deferred comp because there's limits on it.
So every year, other than that 1 year, is this your testimony that you paid the tax obligations solely out of your income or your retirement?
Yes,
How were they typically paid? Where did the funds come from?
my deferred comp.
So each year, when you paid the income taxes for both you and Mr. Hodges, you withdrew the money from your deferred comp?
Yes,
And Mr. Hodges, once again, only contributed 1 year to those funds that you used to pay the IRS.
yes,
Ms. Hodges, you're asking for in your requested relief, the court to reconstitute the community estate due to the waste claims that you've alleged Mr. Hodges has made. And you're asking that this court order Mr. Hodges to pay out to you your 50% of those waste funds in the form of spousal maintenance. Can you
Yes,
ask
sir.
the court, or can you tell the court why it is you're asking for it to be in that form versus the form of a judgment, ma'am?
I
Because-
think objection, I think we've already asked and answered this when she testified previously.
Sustained.
I don't recall, Judge. It's been some time, so I just don't.
Yeah, I know. It was
recall. I wanted to cover it.
November 17th. It was a few weeks ago, but I've heard that testimony. And
Okay,
I take notes during the testimony, just so y'all know. I'm familiar with why she's requesting that.
I just wanted to make sure in case I did not go over it, Judge, that I hit that as to
Understand.
why. Ms. Hodges, is there any additional information you believe this court needs to be made aware of as it relates to your requested relief in this divorce matter, ma'am?
yes. I don't believe that Mr. Hodges will pay me a judgment, as he's never paid child support. He
Objection, she's not.
didn't follow the judge's order.
Objection.
Hold on, wait.
Judge.
If there's an objection, please stop talking. What's the objection?
Yes, there's no specific question on the floor, and she's going over her response to the last question.
All right, that objection is overruled. You may continue, ma'am.
Thank you. He didn't follow the judge's order not to do the excessive spending and only use essentials. He didn't pay Mr. Zan when he was ordered to by originally Judge Mullinex's orders. Mr. Zan had to pursue him and Ms. Phoenix to get him to pay that. And I don't believe for 1 minute that if you don't follow the IRS, 2 different judges' orders, and you don't support your children, that you're about to pay your ex-wife any money at all.
I pass the witness, Judge.
Ms. Phoenix?
Miss Hodges,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm really surprised at how much you suddenly start to remember when Mr. Zan is asking you questions. You remember this IRA from years ago and how much was in it and who spent it, and do you remember all that?
Yes, ma'am. When you have to pay the taxes on someone else's income that you didn't benefit from, you do.
Well, I'm just surprised that you remember so much. Now, with regard to,
Ms. Phoenix, no sidebars.
oh, okay, Judge, I'm sorry. I didn't know that was a sidebar, but I'll move along.
All right, thank you.
You're saying your testimony now is that you don't think the dinners that he went out on were necessary, correct?
Yes,
And that that he has no form of retirement. Is that what you testified to?
no, not that I'm aware of.
Well, he gets his military retirement.
Oh, well, I don't consider that. I thought you meant like employment retirement, like I got.
Okay, so you do consider that to be retirement because you're asking for part of it, aren't you?
Right, but I was thinking employment when Dean was asking me,
Okay.
like compared to mine.
Let's see, previous pay.
Ma'am, I can't understand what you're saying.
I'm sorry, just give me one moment. I'm almost done.
Okay.
So, Ms. Hodges, how many documents did we send over for you and Mr. Zan?
I have
in
no idea.
discovery?
I know it took from April of 2020 till September of 2021, but I have no idea the number. I mean, you mean the actual pages?
You know how many pages we sent over to you?
Not a clue.
Object as to relevance with the number of pages, Judge.
13,000.
Okay.
Objection as to testimony by counsel.
Just-
Now,
it's just
with regard to- Okay. And with regard to all of that information that was given, you're saying that we never provided you with information on Mr. Hodges' checks that he wrote out of 13,000 pages?
Nope.
Okay. We dispute that, but we'll deal with that later. Just one moment. Ms. Hodges, would you look on exhibit R57? Let's see if that's him.
Oh, hold on. Okay.
Judge, I believe that's been admitted, that document.
It has.
Okay, Ms. Hodges, is this document bank stamp and one of the documents that we sent to you, which is a check from Mr. Hodges to Deuces Tecum?
It's a check from Dukas Tecum to Mr. Hodges, not vice versa. It's not his check, it's a check being written to him. Is that the same one?
Hold on.
It's dated 7/30/2020, check number 0514.
We're saying though that you're saying that we didn't provide you with checks, and we're saying that this
You
is
did.
a copy of a check that was provided to you all.
These are not checks that he wrote out of his account.
Okay.
This is a check written to him. The account that you were going through before was 9908 when you were reviewing all those checks with me, and this is from someone else's account. The Dukas Tecum account. That's not
Okay.
his.
Just one moment.
What?
Ms. Hodges, when did you take Mr. Hodges off of your insurance with the city and put Mary Molina Velez on?
I don't have Mary Valise on my insurance.
I know you don't now.
I don't
When
remember.
did you take Mr. Hodges?
I don't remember.
Short memory, huh? Wasn't it during this?
Judge, I'm going to object as to the sidebar.
I'm sorry, Judge. I won't do it again, I promise. Ms. Hodges, it was during the course of this divorce that you took Mr. Hodges off and put Mary on, isn't that correct? While this divorce was pending and while the injunctions were in place?
I don't remember, Your Honor. Sorry, Miss Phoenix.
Has she changed the benefit? Have you changed the beneficiary again during the pendency of this divorce?
I don't remember.
When you took Mary off and put Meredith on?
I don't remember, Your Honor, or Miss Phoenix.
What about this year?
I don't remember, Miss Phoenix.
Okay. If I told you you changed the beneficiary during the pendency of this divorce in violation of the injunctions, would you disagree with me?
Yes. I'd have to see them. I truly don't remember.
Okay. I think I'm done, Judge.
Mr.
I'll
Zan?
pass witness.
Judge, at this time, I have no further questions of the witness.
Mr. Zan, you may call your next witness.
Judge, we rest.
Our petitioner has rested. Ms. Phoenix, it's now your opportunity to call any witnesses that you would like to call. We're going to take a afternoon break. My hope would be that we work until about 3:15. So I'd like to get through some direct before we take our afternoon break. So Ms. Phoenix, you may call your first witness.
Thank you. I call Mr. Gary Hodges, Gary Franklin Hodges.
You may proceed.
Your name, please.
My name is Gary Franklin Hodges.
Mr. Hodges, are you married to Lynn Hodges?
Yes,
Okay, and has the marriage become insupportable because of discord or conflict of personalities between you and Ms. Hodges that
Yes.
destroys the legitimate ends of the marriage relationship?
yes,
If the court were not to grant you a divorce, would you and Ms. Hodges get back together as husband and wife?
no,
At this time, is she expecting a child?
no, Ms. Phoenix.
And at the time that you all filed for this divorce, y'all both lived in Fort Bend County?
Yes, Ms. Phoenix.
Okay. And right now we are in a trial, trying to divide your community assets and separate property. Now, Mr. Hodges, first of all, you heard Ms. Hodges testify that you left the marriage kind of unexpectedly while y'all were scheduled for, I guess, some sort of marriage counseling. Is that correct?
Yes, Ms. Phoenix.
Okay. Now, is that true and accurate? What she said, you just walked out and didn't say anything?
No, Ms. Phoenix.
How did it go down that y'all broke up? What day did you break up? What day did you all separate?
The 11th of February, Ms. Phoenix.
Okay, and what happened? What year?
2020.
Okay, what happened?
Well, we've been fussing back and forth. On the 6th of February, she had an accident with my blue F-150 truck, right?
Mhm.
And the insurance company's been calling me, trying to get a statement. Because if you don't get a statement, they won't settle the claim, right?
Okay.
So she refused to give a statement, and so we was fussing back for the whole weekend. We really weren't talking. Monday morning, she came. Monday morning before she came in, that's the name question. I was in the separate bedroom. We were talking, and I must have said something that set off, but she said something very vulgar, and I don't know if the court allowed me to say it, but I'll say what she said.
Okay, what did she say?
She said she didn't want no limp dick motherfucker, and slammed the door of the bedroom and walked out of the door. I mean, I was so angry. And then I walked outside. She got in the car and a little rental car, just haul butt. I tried to call her a couple times, because I wanted to, just to discuss. I was really pissed off, because she hit me where my ego was. So, and I tried to call her, couldn't call her.
Well, why did that hit you at your ego?
Miss Hodges knows I have erectile dysfunction, and I can't perform sex like everybody else. And that's why this whole thing is really stupid, that she's accused me of having an extramarital partner, because she knows I have erectile dysfunction. And I and we've tried, and the story that she told, that she caught me with my where it comes
Judge, I'm
things.
going to object just to narrative at this time.
Overruled. You may continue, sir.
She said the cum stain on, that happened a year before when I was trying to get in an emotion. She refused. I went in the bathroom. I ejaculated in my underwear. She found the next morning. She threatened not to wash my clothes, but she had continued washing my clothes all along. Right. But she knew we was having a problem. She recommended I go to some clinic, and I went to a clinic, right? And it was a testosterone clinic. I went one time, but that was not my problem. My problem is I'm 60 years old. I have high blood pressure. I'm not able to maintain an erection. So and then like I said, that morning she hit me in my soft spot by saying she didn't want no limp dick, MF. I don't want to say it again, but that's what she said. So I was so angry, and like she pulled off. I did try to call her a couple of times. She refused my call. And then it was crazy that morning. I was hurt. I couldn't believe she said that. I would think about stuff she's saying. I was just hurt. And then she wouldn't respond. I grabbed some clothes, some shoes, right? And I started looking at stuff. And I found for the first time she had locked up stuff in the attic. She put a lock up in the attic. She had locked my personal, I looked at my mother's Bible, looked at my blanket, the stuff that she has in possession now. She had locked up stuff that I'm asking for. She locked up in the attic.
Okay, did you take a picture of the locked attic?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and we're gonna refer the judge to, let me see. This is, no, that's hers. I think we're at number 50, Judge.
Okay.
And Mr. Hodges, will you tell the court what number 50 is? I think it's been admitted too.
It has.
Okay.
It's a padlock on the attic where I couldn't get up in the attic. I always have access to the attic. In Mrs. Hodges' deposition, she claimed that she put a padlock on the door.
I'm going to object just to non-responsive after what it is.
Sustained.
Okay, it's a padlock. And what about the second picture?
The second picture is the date and time of the padlock.
Okay, so it shows February 11th, 2020 at 7:47 a.m.
Yes, Ms. Finch.
Okay, so this is the padlock attic.
Yes, Ms.
So
Finch.
did you have access to the attic?
No, Ms. Finch. I did not have access.
So why were you going into the attic anyway?
I'm looking for my mother's Bible. I'm looking for the black safe. I was looking for equipment, that I would need and stuff that I couldn't find. I noticed my passport was missing. A lot of my military documents were missing. Basic general paperwork. Even that transcript. I looked for several things, but some stuff was locked in a cabinet. She had a lock. She had screw locking keys to it. I was looking for stuff. My initial plan was to move out for a little while, cool off, because I was very angry with her. I mean, anger hurt. It's not even close. But I just wanted. Where she had put me out before, and I just planned to get like a temporary place for a few days and stuff, right? And then let it cool off, and then we could work it out like we've done in the past.
And once you found the lock on the attic door, then what did you do after that?
I started grabbing what I could to put in a Toyota Prius. I grabbed stuff I grabbed my stuff that I wore, like shirts and little simple stuff. I had no room in the Prius to put anything. I grabbed my computer because I needed my computer to work. I grabbed simple stuff that I could survive for maybe a couple of weeks with. That's all I grabbed.
Okay. And then when did you send her that email?
I do recall it was like 2 or 3 days later because she was not returning my calls. She had blocked me where I couldn't call her. She was not receiving calls, and she's always done that throughout the marriage.
Objection non-responsive, just after 2 or 3 days.
Sustained.
Okay, what did you do after that, Mr. Hodges?
Well, by that time she tried to serve me on December 14th, Valentine's Day. February, Valentine's Day. It was like,
So she tried to serve you?
Yes,
With what?
Divorce papers.
So it was, did you get, before we even say divorce papers, that's 3 days after you left?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So she tried to have you served on the 14th, and what happened?
Well, I was not available. A process server called me, and I said, "Hey, you know," he talked to me. I knew who he was. And I said, I agreed to meet him Friday because I was way out on the east side. So, and it was like in the evening. So I met him Friday, took the papers.
You met him in
Fort Bend County.
and took the papers.
Yes.
And what date was that?
That was like Friday, because Valentine's Day was on the 14th. So I believe it's a Thursday. I believe it was.
So the next day, 5 days after, or 4 days after you left,
Yes.
she had you served.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So do you think this was, what do you think about that?
I think Miss, there's some stuff that was been happening. I feel Miss Lynn Hodges already pre-planned because she's inciting argument all the time. And I think, you know, I really felt that for sure that when she called me a limp, the DICMF, that she'd already made up her mind. She knew that would push me almost to the limit because she knew it was very hurtful. So I think, and I know several things she had done to, you know, locking up my stuff. So I think she'd already decided that she was going to get a divorce. It was so quick.
Yeah. Did either of you discuss divorce leading up to the separation?
No, we talked about counseling to make this work.
And that's what you were anticipating.
Right. And we had just started going to counseling, and this counseling was different. Normally we had went to couples come together, but this one, she would go first, then I would go in, and so we was trying to work out what issues that were for each person, because you know, she had her own issues, I had my own issues, so individual and stuff. And she wanted to get to the point where we were back together, right? But we hadn't got there yet because I was still talking to the counselor, trying to figure out the best way to be able to communicate with her effectively and not be angry when she said something to me.
Now, did y'all do any counseling before the separation?
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes, Ms. Fields.
I'm going to refer everybody to 58, R58. Okay. Mr. Hodges, I'm showing you what's been marked and admitted as Exhibit R58. And what is it, first of all?
Okay. It is my Chase account.
Okay, your Chase account. And it shows, if you go to the second page of it,
Right.
what does it show on 129, third from the top?
Paul's Georgia Counseling, Stafford, Texas. And I, you know.
$35.
Yes.
So you all went to counseling on the 29th before the big blowout.
Yes, ma'am.
So y'all were trying to work it out before
Yes.
February 11th.
Yes, Mrs. Spence, we did.
Okay, and y'all weren't talking about divorce.
No, ma'am.
Okay, and let me see. What does, let's look at Exhibit R51.
Okay.
What is R51? Judge, I believe it's been admitted.
R51 is where she.
Okay, thank you, Judge. What is it?
She rented a storage unit.
Who is she?
Lynn Hodges rented a storage unit.
What date did she rent the storage unit?
It shows February the 8th. She paid $76.80 February the 8th.
For a storage unit. And then when did y'all have your blowout?
The 11th of February.
Okay, so do you know what the storage unit was for?
No, she never discussed that with me. I have no idea.
So there were some things that were being stored off y'all's property that she did a few days before y'all broke up.
Yes, ma'am. They were, like I said, there's several small things. Like I said,
What other small things had happened that you noticed after the fact
well,
or during the marriage?
during the marriage, during
Okay.
that time.
What did you notice?
That she was more aggressive and she started making more accusations, accusing me of stuff that I had no knowledge of. At Christmas time, in January, she saw a bill for $300 from this place called Blow. It's Blow. So she accused me of paying $300 for somebody, have some female have her hair done, a place called Blow. It's just a blow dry. They blow your hair out, right? It was $300.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what was going on, but and then it occurred to me why I spent $300 on, because I was standing right next to her and she was just giving that the stare, this mean mugging me like, and I realized the hair dryer in her hand that she was holding is what I bought from this place called Blow.
Oh.
I bought her a top line hair dryer because, I mean, I thought, because she needed one, she had one for over 20 years and it broke. And I thought it'd be a great gift. So I hustled up, did extra work, did extra jobs so I could afford to pay for that $300 blow dryer, which I bought. And when she saw it on my check account, because she had access to my check, she immediately accused me of cheating and buying something else. And then she felt stupid and she apologized after she was holding in her hand a $300 blow dryer, which I bought for her because she blow dries her hair every morning.
Okay.
That was, I mean, but it seemed because and she was picking more fights. So instead I was doing stuff. And then she found out I didn't do it. And she tried
Objection not responsive at this time, Judge's narrative as well.
Mr. Hodges, what else did you notice?
Like phone calls, we couldn't talk because she shut up. If I wanted to call her, like, so I had a rule, I tried to call and tell her my schedule while I was doing. She cut her phone off. Like sometimes I call her and then I try to call, it's off. It didn't go through. And then when she wanted to talk to me, I could talk to her because it would ring through. So most of the time I talk to her directly or in front, right?
Okay.
I noticed that in the evening when I come in, like, so, late at night, tired, that's when she wanted to fuss late at night. I said, hey, can we wait till the morning? She said, when? I want to do it now. I said, hey, we went to counseling, they suggest we do it talking at a better time, not right, late at night, because she would be tired, I would be tired, and we're both gonna say something wrong. But then she said, okay, so the next morning she'd get leave, right? Because she'd go to work earlier than I did. And then by the time I came back late, so it might go a few days before we get things to talk, but by then it sort of had settled itself out. But it was something constant, The only thing we didn't fight about was the dog.
Yeah. Well, has she let you visit with the dog since you all have been in this proceeding?
No,
She
she thought.
object as to relevance.
What's the relevance, Ms. Phoenix?
Judge, we're alleging cruel treatment, and I'm saying that it's cruel
All
to
right.
have
Objection sustained.
No, she is not.
Wait a minute.
Wait for the next question.
He's sustained.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Mr. Hodges, you heard Ms. Hodges testify that she found that you were having an affair with someone named, who was that? You recall who the person was?
The name of the paper she got was called Patricia Sparks.
Patricia Sparks, I'm sorry. Yes, she alleged that you had an affair with her. And that she saw you go in the garage and kiss her and stay an hour and a half. What do you say to that accusation?
That's a false accusation. And now that I personally looked it up myself, and I would hope the court would look at it. Okay.
Why is it false?
Because Ms. Hodges stated, she said, she was driving my blue truck. That blue truck really stands out. There's only so many blue F-150 super cabs. It stands out. She said I passed her twice. She's driving my truck. I would recognize that truck anywhere. And I drove her, we drove that, it was like my baby. Matter of fact, I had about 2 of them. So I've had 2 of them. So blue is my favorite color. She knows that. So I would not miss a blue truck. And now I've looked at the neighborhood where she went to, where she claims is, there's an office that I do business with. It's called Deuces Tinkham. The check that she looked at earlier that they showed, right? It came from that address. Those addresses are so about 50 feet apart. So I just go to Deuces Tinkham every day about between 11:30 and 12 to pick up work or discuss cases. So I was at Deuces Tinkham that day. Now, I don't know how she figured out who it was and stuff, but the only way, like I said, the only way I would miss seeing my truck, I have to be blind. Royal, it stands out. The next thing is that
And what else, Mr.?
I actually went and did a ground visit. In order for her to see what's in that garage, she'd have to be directly behind the garage and be within 25 feet because it's a narrow, these are townhouses, there's narrow spaces between them. So she has to be directly behind. So when I backed out, I'm gonna hit her because all the garages are bumper to bumper. It's a townhouse. So one side is the front side. So when you back out, you've got to hit the next townhouse, right? So you can't.
Judge, I'm gonna object as to narrative at this point.
Sustained.
Mr. Hodges, have you ever cheated on Mrs. Hodges?
No.
Could she see straight into the garage or into one of those garages from the street?
No, ma'am, because it's an alley.
Oh, it's an alley.
So she'd have to be in the alley to see what's in the garage.
Okay.
If I was there, and I was not there.
But and how did you determine all this?
I went to a site visit.
You did a site visit, so that's how you determined.
But I mean, I knew I hadn't done it in the first place, Ms. Spinks, but just so I could explain, it's an alley.
Non-responsive, Judge.
Overruled. You may answer that, sir.
To be able to explain, I wanted my attorney to know I was telling the truth. And like I said, townhouse, one side of the townhouse is the front side, and the back side is the garage. So you cannot pull behind the garage and sit there because you're blocking somebody's garage, right? It's impossible. And from the street, you can only see straight ahead. You can see somebody pulling out and pulling in, but you can't see what's going on in the garage. And I'm not saying I didn't, but I just wanted my attorney to know that that was impossible for her to see that. And I also knew that Ms. Hodges admitted to using a tracking device, and I knew she had used it, and because I had asked her to stop, I knew she was using it before because it affects your FM radio. Once you've used it,
Judge, I'm gonna object as to non-responsive of narrative at this time.
Sustained.
Mr. Hodges, how did you know Ms. Hodges was tracking you?
Because when you put it on the car, it affects your AM signal. I listen to talk radio, sports all the time. So when she's using it, it scrambles the system on the car. So I knew so I asked her to stop tracking me many times. I said, stop. I know you're tracking me.
Did you consent to her tracking you?
No, I told her to stop. I knew she wasn't. I asked her to stop because it was.
Objection non-responsive after no, Judge.
Sustained.
Mr. Hodges, how do you feel about her accusing you of having an affair with this Patricia lady?
She made it up. She created the story to bolster this divorce issue, to make me look bad. But if I always told her, if I wanted somebody else, I would divorce her and find me somebody else. But that's not what she did.
What do you think she did?
She pushed the issues.
Objection calls for speculation, Judge.
Sustained.
Mr. Hodges, how do you feel though about being accused of having an affair?
Asked and answered, Judge.
Overruled.
I think it's totally unfair. She didn't want, she's accused me several times, and each time she's been wrong. But the blow dryer, the Chinese restaurant, she had 14 cops come and ask me to come out and back in 2018.
Objection non-responsive after I believe it's unfair.
Sustained. She's asking how it made you feel that you were accused of this.
How did it make you feel?
Okay. After 2018, she had Fort Bend County Sheriff asked me to come leave my home. I thought it was over. And it's just like relapse. It's like I'm being
Objection non-responsive, Judge.
Sustained.
Mr. Hodges, how do you feel about, you said Lynn had the police come and ask you to leave?
Yes, ma'am.
The Fort Bend police?
Yes, ma'am.
They came and asked you to leave your residence?
Yes,
Or
ma'am.
her residence?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did that make you feel?
I talked to the Fort Bend. I was very hurt and very emotional, but I knew the cop could not put me in a house. But I left because it was just crazy. Because she was going to accuse me of something else. Maybe, I don't know. But I had not threatened her. I had nothing, but I complied with his request. And I grabbed the same-
Objectives to non-responsive, because this is how did it make him feel? And then can we also get a year, Judge, when? It's a pretty broad question.
When did this
Yeah.
occur, Mr.?
You can let us know when that was, Ms. Phoenix.
2018. She called Fort Bend County Cops on me.
Out of the blue, or were you fighting? I don't mean fist fighting, but were you arguing?
She accused me of having lunch with some female in a restaurant in Clear Lake.
And was it true?
No, she had used a tracking device again. That's when all this started back in 2018, which she has in 2018, which she just said it. She said her best friend told her I was having lunch with some girl at a restaurant and I changed
Question
restaurant.
as to hearsay as to what the best friend told her.
Sustained.
Don't say what the best friend said.
Okay.
Okay, so she was tracking you to a restaurant in Clear Lake?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
did she show up? What happened?
No, she stated she stated that her best friend had told her I was there and she saw me.
Objection, hearsay, Judge.
Don't say
Overruled,
told.
overruled. He's talking about what his wife said to him, so that's okay.
Okay,
Well, it's
Tell me
hearsay
what
within
the
here.
wife
He's saying what the best friend told Miss Hodges.
I know, but that's coming from her. The court's gonna allow it. You may testify about what your wife told you, sir, about the Clear Lake luncheon.
Okay. She said she was called by a best friend. She saw me eating in a restaurant with a female having lunch with at this time, at 3:00 in the afternoon.
and was it true?
No, ma'am. I just grabbed a buffet. I sit down, I start eating because I was waiting to serve a paper at like 5:00 and I was not gonna leave Clear Lake, come all the way back to Cape. So I was sitting, so I ate by myself.
Objection,
There's nobody in the
non-responsive after no.
Sustained.
What did you do, Mr. Hodge? Once at the restaurant, what did you actually do versus what she accused you of?
I just ate.
You just ate.
And then I got in my car and I went and sat in front of the house waiting for the people to come back so I could serve them.
In Clear Lake.
Yes, ma'am.
And did Mrs. Hodges ever approach you about you eating with a female?
Yes. She approached me. It was a couple days later. It was not right away. It was a couple days later. She approached me and then she said she wanted me out of her house. She wanted me out and I said, you can't kick me out of this house. I haven't done anything wrong.
Objection, non-responsive, Judge, after yes.
Sustained.
And what happened when she had the police come and ask you to leave the home?
A deputy came and told me I need to get my stuff. And I quietly told her, I said, I'm not threatening her. I haven't done anything. I said, I don't have to leave her. But I'm gonna leave because she's accused me of something I didn't do, and I don't want to be accused of hitting or assault.
Yeah. So you left the residence.
Yes, ma'am.
So how many times did Ms. Hodges kind of try to put you out before you finally left?
That time she called the police out in 2018, but that was the only other time she actually was trying to do it. She threatened it, so she always said, "You can get out of my house, MF," but then it just cooled down.
Okay. And has she, Kathy, excuse me, has she ever provided you with any audio or video or any sort of documentation?
No, Miss
of
Finch, she's
any
never had.
shooting?
No, ma'am.
Okay. No documentation.
No, ma'am.
Okay. How do you feel about her putting your items, your personal items, out on the curb?
I feel that she lied because trash
She
day
lied
is
about what?
putting. I think she gave myself away. Because trash day is, I left on Tuesday. Trash day is on Thursday, so she put it out. And she put it out that she didn't need help. The big grill, And she put out, she says on her statement, she said she put it out on the
Motion
11th.
non-responsive, Judge. How does he feel? How did it make him feel? That's
Overruled. You may continue, sir.
She said on the 11th, she put the stuff out on the curb for trash pickup. It's horrible. These are things that are my possessions I've had for a long time. So I didn't know what she put on the curb. I don't know. She claimed that, I had fishing gear from, I've had fishing gear I buy it. She said she put a couple of cane poles up. It was over $1,000 worth of fishing equipment because I fish salt water. I don't fish ponds. So she claimed that stuff. Some of the stuff the girl she just bought me, the smoker she just bought me said was destroyed, but it's a self-contained where it's a box. If one leaks in it, so what? But she claims it was damaged. A lot of stuff she was saying she put on the curb, the value. I've ridden my bike several times and she said, oh, no, it was North Point, but that's what she said. So I'm miserable. Some of the stuff is not replaceable. My military stuff is not replaceable. I don't know what she's going to give me back. So I'm in fear of not, getting the basic stuff. But I have to accept that, that's what type of person she is.
You think she's cruel?
Yes, ma'am. Heartless is a better term.
Were anything that you requested from her broken or worthless?
No, ma'am. They were not.
What was one of the items that she put on the curb? What can you replace any of it?
You can rebuy it, spend money, spend thousands of dollars replacing it, but some of the value is I got it in the military or I owned it, especially football stuff. Some of the stuff I wanted for football games and stuff. Some of my suits and stuff, because I didn't take none of my suits. Those suits were I bought them a period of time. Some of them were $300, $400 suits because I'm a big guy. And I buy from Casual Mail. I can't buy from Walmart. I can't buy from them. So I have to buy bigger size clothes. So a lot of stuff they'll put on the curb. You have to rebuy again at a large expense.
And in addition, what about the things that your mother gave you?
Irreplaceable.
Is your mother alive?
No, my mother's deceased. My mother died a few years ago.
Okay. So no, that's okay, strike that. Just one moment. Now, Mr. Hodges, Mrs. Hodges had some bank accounts. You recall that? When she sent us over some bank statements?
Yes, ma'am.
And in her bank statements, there are some things that are unaccounted for. Would you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Did we ask her questions about her bank statement?
Yes, ma'am. She gave the answer. I don't remember. I don't recall.
Through most of it, correct?
Yes, ma'am. She said she didn't know. She didn't recall.
Okay, just one moment, Judge. I'm getting something out. Okay. Mr. Hodges, I'm going to show you what's been marked as exhibit R6. You have a reimbursement and a waste claim also, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, with regard to your reimbursement claim, there were a lot of expenditures that were spent by Mrs. Hodges with regard to her separate property dog, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you've heard her testify here today that the dog is her separate property. It was a gift.
Yes, ma'am, I have.
So any money that was spent on the dog means that you're asking for reimbursement, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we have a tally or do we have something that shows the expenses that were spent on Justice?
Yes, ma'am.
Was Justice the dog that was spent on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and where would that be?
Right. So Exhibit R6.
Exhibit R6.
And Judge, I don't know who is in the room with Mr. Hodges, but I'm going to ask that nobody direct Mr. Hodges what to say or how to answer a question, Judge. I would ask that the court instruct that of Ms. Phoenix and her staff who's sitting on the other side of the camera that we can't see.
Yeah,
Yes.
well, I can, everybody's allowed to have paralegals and support staff there with them, but Miss Phoenix, we can't see the person on the screen, so let's make sure that you don't let them send any notes to him that would be telling him how to testify or anything like that. He's on the stand, which means nobody can communicate him except you through your questioning. And I'm not saying that's happened. I'm just saying, just let everybody know the rules so that they understand. Thank you.
Judge, we're not doing that, period.
And I'm not suggesting
just-
you are. I'm just letting you
know.
know. Because
I
some
know.
paralegals may not know that that's a rule. And so I'm just letting you know that I don't want that to happen.
No, it's
The
not
only
happening.
reason I
Judge.
say that, I see Mr. Hodges looking up for a response and I don't know who he's
not,
looking to.
no, nobody's telling him what to say, Judge. It's coming from his heart.
All right,
And it's
let's
not coming from
proceed.
somebody writing down the answer.
All right, let's proceed.
Okay, thank you. Now, what is the total waste and reimbursement total, Mr. Hodges?
$237,425.11.
Okay. Now, what we're looking at, we're trying to find expenditures for justice, the dog, the separate property dog. Just one moment, Judge, we're looking. Broken out like that.
No, ma'am, it's not. It's just cool.
Oh, it's coming in.
Judge, I'm going to object to
Sustained.
the,
Yeah, Miss Phoenix, don't have a conversation with Mr. Hodges except.
Oh,
through-
no, I'm not, Judge. We're just trying to find this separate property dog stuff.
Why
Just
don't we do
give
this?
me-
she can't
Hold on.
tell him how to answer it or.
I
I'm
know.
not telling him how to
Hold on,
answer it.
Hold on, lawyers. We're going to take a break. We're going to take our afternoon break now. It's going to come a little bit early. I know you're not telling him what to say, but I want you to understand, don't even like ask him where things are on the exhibit because he's on the stand. So it's just like,
Okay,
don't have a side conversation with him when he's on the stand. We're going to
Okay,
go ahead and break.
Judge.
We're going to come back at 3:15. We're going off the record.
thank you.
Ms. Phoenix. Let's get our video up and running. But the court's back in the record in the Hodges matter. We're going to pick up where we left off on our afternoon break. We're on the direct examination of the respondent by Ms. Phoenix. Ms. Phoenix, you may proceed.
Thank you. We're gonna have a screen sharing, Judge, if you don't mind.
You have permission.
Thank you. Let me see if Kathy, you ready? Okay, let's get going. Mr. Hodges, do you have here, I have here what's been marked as Exhibit R6.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me make sure we've gotten it admitted. Looks like it's already admitted.
It is.
Those are our waste and reimbursement calculations. Do you see that? Can you see R6?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. And what I'd like for you to do, Mr. Hodges, what is this exhibit showing?
It shows the deposits and cash withdrawals and reimbursements
Okay,
by years.
okay, starting what year?
In 2013, she made deposits of
Wait,
$31,000.
let me ask, I need to ask you a question. Okay. What's the first year?
2013,
Which bank account?
Wells Fargo, her
And-
personal account,
It ends in what numbers?
3320,
Okay, and this is whose account?
Lynn's account that I don't have access to. I have no access to. She never gave me access to it.
Okay, let me get Kathy to put it up on the screen. Kathy? Okay, this is R7. Are we looking at 6 or 7?
R6.
We're looking at, we need R6, Kathy. Okay, so what does R6 show? And we've already gone over the year. How many, what deposits, what total deposits are on this exhibit?
Okay, it's by year, and I'll start with 2013.
Okay,
It's $31,889.58.
now we have them, you see the color coding.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell the court so that they can follow along a little easier, what the colors mean.
The blue color is the checks that I provided when I gave Ms. Hodges I directly gave her checks to.
Okay,
And the green is cash withdrawals, and then the purple is reimbursement expense.
okay. Well, there's pink, blue, so there's pink,
Pink, blue, green.
and which one did you go over all 3 of them?
Yes, ma'am. I'll do it again. The blue is deposits from
Right.
2013,
Right,
$31,889.58.
okay,
The green is cash withdrawals of $566.25.
okay,
And the pink is reimbursement of $7,426.79.
okay, and it's set out by month. How much the deposits were, how much the cash withdrawals were, and how much were the dog, and what reimbursements are we requesting?
Well, it ranges from basic stuff like the expenses she would have, from taking care of the dog to buying stuff at Walmart.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Mr. Hodges. Did you agree for Ms. Hodges to spend a lot of money on her separate property dog?
No, because
And why not?
because Ms. Hodges says what goes, and if it don't go, you can get out of her house.
Okay, So did she ask you to agree?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so how did you know she was spending this money on this dog?
I had no idea what she was spending unless she told me to. She used to say, can you pay this bill or I need to give $200 here, unless she said, but I wouldn't see it because I don't have access to her account.
Okay, so this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's 11 months on this Wells Fargo checking account number 3320, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Each one of these is by month?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're asking the court to disallow these expenditures and label them as waste?
Yes, ma'am.
Now the deposits, tell the court what these deposits mean.
These were checks from the business that I gave directly to Miss Lynn Hodges.
Okay, so this is money from your business.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go on down to the next one, 2014. It's the
Yes.
same thing?
Same type deal, an increase in money. So, 44,000 deposit, $44,915 in deposits. Cash withdrawals was $1,989. And the reimbursement I'm asking for is $11,467.71.
Okay, now these deposits, this is money that you gave to Ms. Hodges?
Yes, ma'am.
Does that include her paycheck?
No, ma'am.
So this is over and above what she earned.
Yes, ma'am.
So with regard to the green, that's cash withdrawal. She withdrew $1,989 out of the bank in cash.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what she paid for with that cash?
No, ma'am.
And I would take it that she didn't talk to you about it.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And then the pink is the dog and other things, miscellaneous things reimbursement.
Yes, ma'am.
That includes expenditures for justice.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of, tell the court what kind of expenditures there were for justice. Let's go to January of 2014.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go to the bank statements.
The bank statement. Yes,
And
ma'am.
let me see, Judge, I'll tell you in just a moment where the bank statements are.
Okay.
I think Kathy's screen sharing them with us. Kathy? Are you screen sharing the bank statements?
Wait, when do you need it, meeting?
January of 2014. Okay. And with regard to, you ready, mister?
Yes, I'm ready.
This is R8.
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready.
Okay, and where is the other exhibit, the exhibit that you were just looking at previously?
That was in R7, but
R7, let's go back to that too. Because there's this one, waste reimbursement.
okay.
So let's look at January of 2014. So that we can see exactly how these things work together.
Okay, so it said January 2014. I gotta find January 2014 right here.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay, so then you go back to the bank statements
Okay, I'm looking at the bank statements right now. It's gonna try the right one.
and go back to the chart when you get done with that.
Okay. Yes, okay, back to the chart. It's R6, I believe it is. Okay,
January of 2014.
okay.
Okay, Kathy, move that down, please. And let's just see, it says deposits 17,800. Withdrawals $120, reimbursement $364.99. Okay, let's go to the deposits. So the deposits are in blue. The ATM withdrawals are in green,
Okay.
and the pink is dog and house.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now there's a deposit of $1,000 made in a branch store
Yes, ma'am.
on 12/6. Let's go on down, Kathy. This is, some of these are in December. Slow down. Here's a deposit, 12/19, $15,000.
Yes, ma'am.
You recall that transaction?
I don't recall
I
about
don't
it.
recall it
No, but
specifically, okay. Another deposit, 12/20, made in the branch store, you don't recall that one either?
I just gave her the checks and for her deposit.
Okay, let's go on down, Kathy. And here's Wolfgang Bakery, 53.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what do you know about purchases at Wolfgang?
I've been there a few times, but it's a high-end boutique bakery. It's one of the top ones in Houston. That's where Meredith Lyles runs it, one of her best friends, and she buys exclusively, well, not exclusively, but 99% of the time she buys from that Wolfgang Bakery. And anything that has to do with health or things, that's where she went to.
Okay.
And Meredith would order it for her. The price was not an issue for her, I don't think. You could have got some stuff at Walmart, or you could have got it at PetSmart, but she went to Wolfgang Bakery because they were top of the line.
Okay, and she spent $53 on something. And then here's another Entirely Pets, 12/26, $122. Do you know anything about that?
No, but I can only speculate. There was probably a dog toy or something for Justice.
Okay, going down, Kathy. Okay, deposit made in the branch store, $1,000. PetSmart, $112.53. Did you agree for your wife to spend all this money?
I didn't know she was.
Okay, going down, Kathy. Okay,
That's it, for
yeah,
January,
that's it for January. Let's look at the next one.
February.
Kathy, let's screen share with February.
Oh, my God. Oops, sorry.
Okay, let's go on down. It shows deposits, 3,000, withdrawals, 143, reimbursement, 34.91.
Yes.
Okay, let's go on down. Green. Cash withdrawal. Pink, something with the dog.
That's Demi's Doghouse for $210. That's a place where Justice goes to daycare.
$210 a day?
No, it might be for a couple of weeks. It's pretty expensive.
Okay, let's go on down, Kathy. So Justice goes to that doggy daycare,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
and he
ma'am.
has Petco,
Yes.
113. Another $1,000. This $1,000 seems to be pretty regular. Do you know if it?
Well, those are deposits. I'm giving her money.
Yes, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, I noticed $1,000 keep coming up about every.
Judge, I'm gonna object this to the sidebar.
Sustain.
Okay, okay. There's a purchase at PetSmart also. You see that one?
Yes, in Rosenberg. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 12901, did you agree for your wife to spend this kind of money on Justice the dog?
I didn't know she spent it.
Okay, going down, Kathy. Here's another one, Wolfgang. 150.56. Was this something you agreed to?
I didn't know she spent it.
You think it's excessive spending on a dog?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go on down. Okay, this is looks like bill paying. Oh, these are bills for the house.
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like did you contribute to the household bills?
Yes, ma'am. If you notice it in that month that you were asking about, look at deposits. Those were money that she could pay the bills and stuff with and stuff like that.
Okay, so
So I'll give you an example. So when she said she paid on the 127.
Objection, non-responsive, Judge.
And
give me an example, Mr. Hodges.
On the bank statement showing 127, right? It says paid mud $999. You can see before that, a week before that, I deposited $1,000, and on that next day, I gave her $1,000.
Okay. Okay, I see okay. So you're saying that to help with the bills, you put money in?
Well, I know I gave her a check and she put it in her account, and then she paid the bill from that money.
Okay.
So basically, if I gave her $1,000, she can say, yes, she paid the mud tax, but she got $1,000 from me.
Okay, so that's what was left out. The fact that she got the money from you?
Yes, Ms. Finch. She said in her statements I didn't pay anything, but if you look at deposits from the money, the Wells Fargo check, you can see where I was giving
Objection,
her money.
non-responsive after yes, Judge.
sustained.
Okay. So let's go on down to there's an ATM withdrawal on 129.
Yes,
You know
ma'am.
what that one was for?
No, ma'am. It's I'm gonna say it's near where she works at for $80.
Okay, and another $1,000 deposit. This would have been from you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, going down, Kathy. Okay. Okay, we're at February 7th to March 6th.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go.
Okay.
Deposits, 2,000. Withdrawals, 123. Reimbursement, 340.
Yes, ma'am.
That's going down, Kathy. $210. Looks like Wolfgang again.
Yes, ma'am.
About $165.
Yes, ma'am.
And 212 hot dog collars, $101. You think this is reasonable spending on a dog?
No, ma'am.
Were you aware that your wife was spending this money?
No.
Okay. Are you asking that the court label it as waste and reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, Kathy. Another $1,000 deposit, 224. That was from you.
Yes, ma'am.
227 credit or check card purchase for hot dog collars, $70.66. What do you think of that, Mr. Hodges?
I have no idea what she was doing.
Okay, are you approving of it?
No.
Are you asking the court to reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ATM withdrawal, $123. Let's go on down. Deposit another $1,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Go on.
So,
Go ahead, Kathy. Deposits, 2,900, withdrawals, 260, reimbursement, 1,208.
Yes, ma'am.
First thing you have is a deposit of 500 made in a branch.
Yes, ma'am.
That will be from you.
Yes, ma'am.
ATM withdrawal, $40. That is Smith Street in Houston. Is that close by?
Judge, may I take the witness on voir dire as to his knowledge of the $500 deposit? Deposits in the account. He's already testified this is not his account. He doesn't have access to it. So I'd like to know how he has knowledge that this money is being deposited by him.
Overruled. I'll allow it on cross, but I'm not going to do voir dire on it. You may continue, Miss.
Thank you, Judge.
Phoenix.
The ATM withdrawal, Smith Street, is that close to where your wife works?
Yes, Ms. Phoenix is close where she works at.
Okay, going down. Okay, this is the pink. Here we are again, pink for Wolfgang. Looks like PetSmart. And Demi's Doghouse.
Yes, ma'am. Demi's Doghouse, the doggy daycare.
Okay, were you aware that your wife spent $270 at Denny's Doghouse and something at $193 at PetSmart?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you made the $1,000 deposit on the 14th?
Let me repeat. I gave her the money. She's depositing the money. I gave her the check and she put it in her account.
Okay.
Either she took it there herself or she used her app on her phone to deposit. So
Okay, I understand. So there's an ATM withdrawal for $80. West Grand Parkway, Katy. Is that close by where y'all live or?
yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. Going down, Kathy. Here we are, dog expenditures again, hot dog collars, Demi's Doghouse, Overstock, Soggy Doggy, Wolfgang Bakery. Several $100s, 2, 3, 5, 6, several $100s, probably closer to 700 or 800, all on dog things within what, a week of each other.
Yes, Ms. Phoenix.
Is that something you agree to, Mr.?
That's something I have no knowledge of.
Okay, and are you asking the judge to disallow it and reimburse you? Mr. Hodges?
Yes, I'm asking the judge to disallow it to reimburse.
Okay, go on. There's a deposit, $1,400, that would have been made by you, correct?
I would give her a check
Okay.
and she would deposit. She has access to her own account.
Okay, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting about that. Going down, Kathy. One more, cash withdrawal, Smith Street, close by the wife's work,
Yes, ma'am.
$140.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Okay, withdrawals, deposits 22, withdrawals 80, reimbursement 1671. I'm sorry, Judge, I'm starting to cough. I'm trying not to cough, so that's why my voice is kind of strange.
I understand. It's fine. We can.
Okay,
If you need a break to get water, let me know.
thank you.
Get some water.
Okay, we're back with Adventure Design. Hold on, Judge.
Judge, I apologize. I'm going to get some water. real quick.
All right, we're going to go off the record for a second. Let Ms. Phoenix get some water.
I'm sorry, Judge.
It's all right.
Need some water?
Uh,
Get out of my place.
Oh, yeah, room temp.
Hey, that's my place.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
Are you
We're
gonna-
here at the I'm back, Judge.
The court's back on the record in the Hodges matter. Ms. Phoenix, you may continue.
Thank you. Adventure Designs and Betty Jane Candy. 89 and 191.91. You know anything about these purchases, Mr. Hodges?
I don't recall, but Betty Jane Candy seems familiar, so I'm not for sure.
Okay. But it's an expenditure by your wife.
Yes.
Did you give her permission or did she tell you what these are?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you asking the court to disallow and reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Keep going, Kathy. Okay, this is PetSmart, $76.33. And Wolfgang Bakery again, $126. Mr. Hodges, did you give your wife, were you in agreement with her spending this kind of money on the dog?
No, ma'am.
And were you aware that she spent this kind of money on the dog?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court, you think it's excessive?
Yes, ma'am.
As a matter of fact, there's one more down here. It looks like Garden World. I'm not quite sure what that one is, but it's pink.
Yeah.
86.49. Are you asking the court to disallow these excessive expenditures?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and there's an ATM withdrawal for $80 from the same ATM on Smith Street.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what it was used for?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to disallow it and reimburse?
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Kathy. Okay, we're on the next page. This is pet tags. This is, do you know what this credit card purchase is for Kingland Boulevard on Katy? Kingsland Boulevard?
I have no idea I know where Kingston Boulevard is, but I don't have an idea what the charge would be for.
Okay, it's a big charge. Value Pet Supplies, 69, PetSmart, 61. Entirely Pets, 85.98. PayPal, Seth. Do you know who Seth is?
No, ma'am.
SETH.
I have no idea who that is.
Okay, you asking the court, do you believe that these purchases are reasonable?
No, ma'am.
You asking the court to disallow and reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead. Here's one more, the same Kingsland Boulevard, 183.02. You asking the court to disallow this?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know anything about this charge?
No, ma'am.
Did your wife discuss it with you before she made these charges? The pets charges especially.
No, ma'am.
Okay, let's go. Okay. Deposit $25.85, withdrawals $320, reimbursement $190.
Yes, ma'am.
So it looks like this is mostly deposit. You a deposit of $1,200 and $185. This is in May.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go on. This is hot dog collars and value pet supplies, $516 and $519, $59 and $69. Were you aware that your wife was spending this kind of money on the dog?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking? Do you believe it's excessive?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, Mr. Hodges. I'll move over a little bit. I'm coughing. Are you asking the court to deny these charges and reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, Kathy. Okay, looks like an ATM withdrawal for $220 and an ATM withdrawal 3 days later for $100. Are you familiar with these ATM withdrawals?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to disallow them and reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
And natural pause. You know anything about that expenditure
No, ma'am.
for the dog?
No, ma'am.
6168. Are you asking the court, do you think it's reasonable?
No, ma'am.
You're asking the court to disallow it and reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go on down. That was quick. Okay, this is July, 4255 deposits, 380 withdrawals, 1244.32 reimbursement. This is for the month. Okay, we start out with Demi's Doghouse,
Wow.
$553.52. Are you familiar with this charge from Demi's Doghouse? This was 6.6.
No, ma'am.
What about Natural Pause, $30.84?
No, ma'am.
And what, excuse me. What about Solutions for $59.97?
I have no idea what that is.
I see there was a deposit made in the store. That would have been you.
That would be me giving her a check that she would deposit.
Okay, all right. So as a result of you not knowing anything about those expenditures above the pink ones, are you asking the court to disallow and to reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we're on the next page, ATM withdrawal, $40, Smith Street location. That's your wife taking money out, right?
But yes, ma'am.
You know what it was used for?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to disallow it and to reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
PetSmart, $238.84. You think that's reasonable?
No, ma'am.
Especially that you spent money on the dog every month up to this point. Were you aware that there was this much money being spent on the dog?
No, ma'am.
Did she have your permission to spend this kind of money on the dog?
No, ma'am.
So are you asking the court to deny this expenditure and order you to be reimbursed?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go to the deposits. Looks like 26. Okay. About 2,600, no, 1,600 about for deposits. These would have been checks, Mr.
Yes, ma'am.
Hodges, that you gave to her and she put in her account.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's go to pet something. I'm not sure if it's rescue or what, but it's $15. Are you asking the court to reimburse you that $15?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know anything about the charge?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Pet, wait a minute, PPG, architectural something in Katy. Are you familiar with that?
No, ma'am.
Were you aware that your wife spent $346 there?
No, ma'am.
30th?
Judge,
2014.
can we pause for a moment? Are we really going to do this? Go back from 2013 every month? We're going to be here for a week at this rate, Judge.
Mr. Zan, you
Hold
asked
on.
for statements from 2011, if I recall. So now
Hold
you
on.
don't want to hear anything from 14?
Hold
I'm
on.
not talking to you, Ms. Phoenix. I'm
Is
asking the
there, is
judge.
there an objection?
Judge, as to relevance.
Well, I can tell you the same thing that I told Mr. Zan, and that is the documents are in evidence, and it looks to me like the methodology for the wasting claims are similar, now that I've heard several months of it from Mr. Hodges as well. So I mean, I can't tell y'all how to try it, but I can tell y'all the court generally doesn't go back on wasting claims 8 years. And, you know, that's long before these parties were anticipating a divorce, would be my guess. But that being said, I'm not going to tell y'all how to try your case, but it's not looking like we're going to finish today if we continue to do it monthly. So I would just suggest that y'all remember that the court has heard plenty of testimony from both of them as far as their methodology on their wasting claims. And, you know, the court's going to be consistent on what they allow and disallow more than likely. But that being said, you may continue, Ms. Phoenix.
Well, Judge, since we had, did our wasting claims from so far back, I guess we'll try to do something closer in. So that at least you have some testimony on that, and then we'll try to finish out. Kathy, let me tell Kathy which one I want, Judge.
Judge, maybe a consult with the attorneys on sidebar could maybe on a side Zoom or a side. I'm trying to think of the word, Judge. I can't. Breakout room. Thank you. May assist
Breakout
in some
room.
of this.
I can do a quick breakout room. I'm going to go off the record for a second.
Thank you.
All right, lawyers, if you would just have your clients leave the room if they're with you so that we can have a quick chamber session.
My client's downstairs, Judge. I'm upstairs.
My client's gone, Judge. Can you hear me?
He's got to put us in a breakout room, Ms.
oh.
Phoenix.
I'm multitasking here.
Okay.
I'm going to join y'all.
Just a second.
All right, Ms. Phoenix and Mr. Zan, before we get back on the record, what does 1:30 tomorrow look like in the event we're not finished with this case today?
Judge, I have
Let me
I have
help
an
Ms.
appointment
unmute.
to take my truck in. It's got an engine light on right now and it's misfiring. So my concern is if I don't get it into the shop to figure out what's going on, I may not make it anywhere at some point. So I know today we were set all day, so I didn't schedule anything. So I've scheduled it for tomorrow. I've got court tomorrow morning in your court, and I planned on after that taking it to the shop. And I don't know what my transportation issues will be after that.
Right. All right, and Ms. Phoenix, what does your day look like? Same, do you have issues tomorrow?
Tomorrow, let me see, 6, 7, 8. I'm in your court in the morning, Judge.
Well,
And I
I know
have,
y'all both are, but I'm thinking it's gonna, I'm just guessing it's probably gonna take us a couple more hours. Maybe that after an hour, I realize, because we still have an hour today, that we don't need that much time, and we may be able to do tomorrow morning at like 10:30 to 12 to finish it. But do you have stuff, conflicts tomorrow afternoon as well, Ms. Phoenix?
no, I just have, excuse me, somebody in your court in the morning, and I have a status hearing in a cluster court.
That's at 10:30, the status hearing.
Is it 10:30?
Yes.
Oh, it's at 10:30, Judge. So other than that.
Okay, what about the afternoon of the 15th, 1:30?
Kathy says I'm open.
Just froze.
Wonder what happened to my Zoom.
I think you're still fine. Mr. Zan, did you freeze up?
I'm not frozen, Judge. I'm just trying, okay, I think I found y'all. There I am. Okay.
I think we lost Mr. Zan.
Oh, goodness. Mr. Zan? He's gone.
That's one thing I won't miss about getting back to live trials at some point is all these glitches that happen.
Yeah, yeah, I know. There's good and there's bad with it.
Your Honor, Dean's computer froze up. He's restarting it.
All right, thank you, Ms.
Yes.
Hodges.
You're welcome.
I just realized it's Pearl Harbor Day today.
Oh, goodness. Wow. December
December
7th?
7th.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a bad day, Judge.
Yeah, you mentioned repairs, Judge, and my computer decides to tank on me and it would got an issue and restart itself.
Going out too. All right, so look at the 15th, Mr. Zan. Let me know if the afternoon of the 15th is open.
Judge, I'm available. We're actually set for motion to enter and then that possible temporary order on that Young matter that you just heard. Yesterday. So we're set for.
That's in the morning. I was going to see what about the afternoon.
I'm available that afternoon if need be, Judge. Yes.
All right, I'm the only judge that day, I know, but we can do 1:30 and I'll just get, I'm just going to tell everybody else, you know, that they're going to have to either settle or get it heard in the morning. In this case, the problem is if we don't get this heard finished, then we're looking at January and all of us will not remember exactly all the evidence. So I want to finish them while it's fresh in everybody's mind. So let's plan on, if we don't finish today, resuming at 1:30 on the 15th. Okay, let's get back on the record. The court's back on the record. We're going to pick up with the direct of the respondent by Ms. Phoenix. Ms. Phoenix, you may continue.
Thank you, Judge. Kathy, if you could begin on 2019. Let me see what exhibit we're looking at. Starting with R13. Okay. Let's go in through. Deposit $7,679. Withdrawal $700. Reimbursements $3,705. Okay. We're here. There's a deposit. Mr. Hodges, do you see that deposit on 12/7?
Yes, Ms. Phoenix.
That would have been you giving your wife a check for her to deposit in her account.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's in addition to her salary.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And down at the 12/10, do you see those expenditures?
Yes, ma'am.
And 12/10, a little further down, there's a Petco expenditure.
Yes, ma'am.
You're asking to be reimbursed for the bills that you paid up above in pink.
Yes, ma'am.
And looks like $100 was withdrawn on the 10th of December in Richmond. Do you know what that was spent for?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are you asking that the court reimburse you for your payment of the bills on your wife's separate property home
Yes, ma'am.
and for the dog or pet expenditure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We've got one Wolf game $396. What will $396 buy at Wolfgang?
I have no idea. That's excessive.
Okay, so you're asking the judge to deny that purchase. And what about Chewy.com?
I believe I recall Chewy being some type of dog treat, but I wouldn't know she ordered, but I think Chewy's are dog treats.
And she spent $66.75 at Chewy. You think that's reasonable?
No, ma'am. I don't think so.
Are you asking the judge to deny
Yes, ma'am.
and reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, Kathy. Two more pings. These are additional bills, it looks like, Mr. Hodges. Another mud, gosh, two or three more mud things. These are expenditures on your wife's separate property residence.
Right. Yes, ma'am. They are.
Okay, and are you asking the court to reimburse you for that?
Absolutely, ma'am.
And with regard to 1226, there's an ATM withdrawal on Smith Street,
Yes,
close to the wife's job.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what that money was spent on?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Going down, Kathy. Deposit. Now, this is a kind of a large deposit.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
How in the world did you get a deposit this large?
This is hustling, working longer hours and putting in more time.
Mhm.
You know, working, that's like working 18-hour days,
Okay,
except Sunday, working long hours.
okay. And then you gave her this money to put in her account
Yes, ma'am, because
because,
she said she needed that money to pay homeowners, the whole dues and all that stuff was coming up. She's getting ready to pay it.
okay.
The homeowner, HOA dues and other stuff. So yes.
So that's what you were giving her this extra money for.
Yes, and pay any other bills that she thought she needed to pay.
Okay. And how about 17chewy.com, $100.51.
It's dog treats, man.
Okay. Let me see, is there another one on this page?
Yes, ma'am. She paid the mud taxes on her property.
Yes.
On 1/7, she paid $114.15. And the same day, she paid $215.41. And that money would have came from the $5,937 I gave her. Ms. Hodges says I don't pay the bills. She's right. If I give her the money, so she could pay those, the mud taxes, homeowners.
Judge, I'm going to object as to the questioning and line of testimony related to payment of mud taxes, as that is not a reimbursable claim pursuant to case law, Judge.
The problem, the exhibits and evidence, I'm going to let them question from it, but objections overruled.
Okay. Let's see, did we already talk about these?
No, ma'am.
Okay. What did we sing here on 1/7, Mr.?
It's bill pay LK. I don't know what line is. $258.16. I have no idea what that is. And right up underneath is another payment of $268.61.
Okay, there's mud taxes up above there.
Yes, ma'am.
And then there's a couple of purchases in Katy on Kingsland Boulevard. Pretty sizable purchases too.
Yes, ma'am.
$451 and $96. Do you know anything about any of these
No, ma'am.
things that were paid?
And on 1/7, she withdrew out $500 from the West Grand Katy Parkway. I have no idea what she used that money for.
Okay, are you asking the court to reimburse you for it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, pass it, not pass the witness, move it up some, Kathy.
You said you passed the witness?
No, that was an
okay, I thought
accident. It
I'm sorry.
almost slipped.
It kind of surprised me, but I
Yeah.
misheard you.
You were dozing a little bit, and then you woke up and said, "What? What I miss?" Just kidding, Judge. You weren't dozing.
I know.
Okay, reimbursements, withdrawal 80, reimbursements 1910. Okay, we're at Jimmy's Doghouse again, and the $330 being spent there, Mr. Hodges. What do you think about that? And Wolfgang, $440.70.
I don't know what to say, but it appears that just eats a lot of dogs for $440.
Were you, did you approve of your wife spending this kind of money on dog house treats and stuff?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you asking the court to deny it and to reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, Kathy. We're here with some more Bill Mudd. It looks like it is. I'm not sure what all this is. 114, 215, 258, 268. Are you asking the court to reimburse you for these expenses that you paid on your wife's separate property home?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what about Wolfgang again, 9119?
Yes.
You're asking to be reimbursed for that?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Did you approve of your wife spending that $91 at Wolfgang?
No, ma'am.
And then additional, come on up, Kathy. No, come on down, I should say, I'm sorry. Some purchases with Kingsland Boulevard and Wolfgang, again, Wolfgang 129.85. And the other two purchases are $47.50 and $14.90. Are you approving of these expenditures, Mr. Hodges?
No, ma'am, I'm not.
You asking the court to reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Thank you, and to deny these charges?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. $80 ATM withdrawal, Grand Parkway. I'm not sure who. Well, I guess Mrs. Hodges would have taken that, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Sure account.
Okay. That's it. Let's move on. 2190 deposit, withdrawals 180, reimbursements 355.51.
Say that one more time, ma'am.
Hold on. Deposits 2190. Withdrawals 180. Reimbursement.
Judge, I'm going to object as to leading. I mean, that's, I don't hear a form of the question as it's not a question.
Overruled. You may continue, Mr. Phoenix.
Go ahead.
I found it. I just remembered.
You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, deposit in the branch store 2190.
Yes, ma'am.
That would have been you giving your wife a check?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. ATM withdrawal $100. Wolfgang 271.86. Is that reasonable?
No, ma'am.
You asking the judge to order that to be waste and reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am.
8365, this Kingsland Boulevard.
I don't know what it is,
You
ma'am.
don't know what it is?
No, ma'am.
So of course you don't support something, or do you support this expenditure?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Okay. And the ATM withdrawal, do you know what that was used for?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and you're asking the court to reimburse you? Consider that waste?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. $76.10, $100, and reimbursements $1106.95. Okay. Deposits $311. Looks like almost $8,000.
Yes, ma'am.
You made the deposit, or you gave the money or the check to your wife to deposit?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Okay. Pearland Animal something, 169.29. Are you familiar with this charge?
I'm not familiar with charge, but I believe it's it's an animal clinic that I've been to before. Yes.
Oh, okay, but not with this charge.
Not with this charge.
Did you, do you think it's a reasonable charge?
No, because I don't know what it's for now.
Okay,
She didn't discuss to me what she used the money with.
okay. And $100 ATM withdrawal. Do you know what that money was used for?
No, ma'am, she didn't discuss what she took out withdrawal the $100 for.
Okay, you asking the court to deny the charge and put it back in as part of the community property?
Yes,
for
ma'am.
division? Okay. Going up, Kathy. Okay, Wolfgang, 406.93. Betty Jane Can. I'm not sure what that is. Do you know what Betty Jane Can is?
I've heard the name before, not for sure, but that's,
It's
she
not-
didn't discuss that with me.
Okay, neither one, Wolfgang or Betty Jane?
No, ma'am, she didn't discuss it.
Okay. You think they're reasonable charges?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to deny them and put them back into the community?
Yes, ma'am.
Purchase, Grand Lakes, cleaners. Special. Wolfgang again, heat and air specialist, that's a house repair, looks like.
Yes, ma'am.
And Great Lakes cleaners, maybe 68.90. Are you familiar with these charges?
I'm familiar with that particular one, because I'm not asking for it, because she just take my clothes too, so I can't argue that point of that one. It was $69, because she took both our clothes there.
Okay.
So I'm not asking for reimbursement on that particular one, because she did.
$68.
Right, so, no, I'm not
Okay.
asking for reimbursement on the $68, but she took both our clothes there.
Okay, so we'll take that 68 out.
Yes, ma'am.
What about the others? You think they're reasonable? You asking for reimbursement?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's go on down. That's it. $6,500. What is this, Mr. Hodges?
I gave her a large check. I think she put out 2 large checks. She combined them and deposited $6,500 some dollars, which I gave her from some jobs I had done. And yes, I see it right here.
So this just shows a deposit slip for Lynn Hodges.
Yes, ma'am.
Depositing that $6,500.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is, let's see what month this is. This is April to May.
Yes, ma'am.
Deposit $65.30, withdrawals 100, reimbursements $14.90.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I see it.
Okay, $27.50 deposit, and then another deposit, $23.18.45.
Yes, ma'am.
That would be you.
Yes, ma'am. Giving her a check that she's depositing in her account.
Okay, looks like 2 checks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, Kathy. Excuse me. Okay. And then it looks like there's another check, 424 for $1,462. And that would be you also.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Purchase on Kingsland Boulevard for $14.90. Were you aware of this charge?
No,
Do you
ma'am.
know what it was for?
No, I'm just not familiar with the purchase order, something Kingsman at all.
Yeah, okay, and you're asking the court to deny the charge and to make it part of the community estate again?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. $2302, $80, and $216. Okay, there's withdrawal for 40 from Smith Street. Is that address familiar?
Yes, ma'am. It's an ATM in her work.
Do you know where, what she spent the money on?
No, ma'am.
Okay, are you asking the court to deny the charge and to return the money to the community estate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We've got two deposits, 2062 and 240, so almost $2,500, $2,300. This is from you, Mr. Hodges?
Yes, ma'am.
Additional money that you gave to your wife to put in the account?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Looks like PPG Paints, Kingsland Boulevard, Gulf Coast Veterinary, Houston. These are all expenditures, Mr. Hodges. Are you familiar with them?
No, ma'am.
Do you think they're reasonable?
No, ma'am.
You're asking the court to reimburse you?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, and $40 ATM withdrawal, that looks like the same Smith Street address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Deposits, withdrawals, reimbursements, 2363 deposit, withdrawals 240, reimbursement 835.89. Okay, looks like there's a deposit, 2363.75. That's from you, Mr. Hodges. Is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
correct?
Yes, it is.
And you gave her the money to deposit in her account.
Yes, I did.
Okay, purchase from Chewy.com, $190.85. Purchase from Wolfgang, $17.30. Another purchase from Wolfgang's, $173.16. And Gulf Coast Veterinary, $350.68.
And right above that, Ms. Sings, there's a $240 withdrawal
Right, ATM
from
withdrawal.
that same location on Smith Street by her job.
Okay, so you recognize that.
I recognize the location, but I don't know what she did with the money. I have no idea.
And
She didn't discuss it with me.
okay, so you're asking that it be returned to the community.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's waste. The pink, were you aware? Let me ask you this, Mr. Hodges. This is something I haven't asked you before. Did you talk to your wife at all about these excessive spending with Wolfgang and Chewy and PetSmart? Did you mention anything to her?
No, I provided the money for her to pay the bills. I provided money. It was like a non-start. Ms. Hodges controls the spending of the money. So I didn't have a say how she spent her money. And it was vice versa. So she didn't control how I spent my money. I controlled how she spent her money.
So neither, y'all just didn't say anything about how the money was spent.
Right.
Okay, but you do believe that some of these expenditures or the expenditures for the dog at Wolfgang and these other places is not reasonable.
It's not reasonable, not at all.
And you weren't aware that the expenditures were being made.
No, I was not.
Okay. So we've asked the court to reimburse that to the community.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's move on. Here's a Wolfgang Bakery again, 103.90. You didn't know anything about this.
No, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead, Kathy. That's it. Are you asking the court to deny that Wolfgang charge and reimburse the community?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here we go. 4405 deposits, 40 withdrawals, 559 reimbursements.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we've got some deposits here, a couple.
Hmm.
One on West Grand Parkway. The other one on Smith Street. The other one on Smith Street. Did you give your wife the money to deposit this money?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and Wolfgang Bakery, $233.77.
I had no idea.
Okay. You asking that money come back to the community?
Yes, ma'am.
And what about the deposits?
Yes, I provided her checks. She deposited in her account.
And you don't know what she did with it?
No, ma'am. She would tell me she's paying the bills. She was saving money for the whole dues, the mud, and cable bills. She said she was paying the bills around the house.
Oh, okay. That's what she told you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let's go on down, Kathy. Okay, one charge 82 to Wolfgang Bakery again.
Yes.
178.48. What do you think this charge is excessive?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to deny it and to reimburse the community?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, thank you. There's an e-deposit in a branch store, 331.52. You recognize, not recognize, but would this have come from you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Passing, shoot. Sorry, that was a mistake.
Keep doing that. I'm gonna call you on it one time.
I don't know why I keep saying that, Judge. Well, deposits 1947, withdrawals 180, reimbursement 465. Okay, Mr. Hodges, Demi's Doghouse, 1460, and Wolfgang Bakery, 204.75. What do you think?
Excessive.
You asking the court to deny them
Yes, I
and
am.
to reimburse the community?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And the ATM withdrawal, do you know what she did with the money?
No, ma'am, I do not.
You asking the court to deny that also and to reimburse the community?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And you made this deposit, not deposit, but gave her the money for this 1,947?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you. Come on down, Kathy. Let's see, another ATM withdrawal for $80. You think that was your wife that made that withdrawal?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know what she spent the money on?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to deny that withdrawal and put it back as part of the community property?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. We're here on August 22nd, Demi's Doghouse, Wolfgang Bakery. What do you think of these expenditures?
Excessive.
Are you asking the court to deny them and put them back in the community?
I am.
Okay. Deposit $17.95, withdrawals $100. Reimbursements $509. E-deposit in the store $17.95. Demi's Doghouse, Wolfgang Bakery, $39 for Demi's, $250 or $225 for Wolfgang. Do you think, were you aware of these charges, Mr. Hodges?
No, I was not.
Did you authorize your wife to spend this excessive money on Demi's Doghouse and Wolfgang Bakery?
No, I did not.
You think the expenditures are reasonable?
They're not.
Are you asking the judge to deny them and put them back, put these charges back into the community?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. Just another Wolfgang Bakery on 920 for $206.06. were you aware that your wife spent this kind of money on Wolfgang?
No, ma'am.
Did you approve of it?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Is it excessive?
Yes, it is, ma'am.
Okay, you're asking the court to make it part of the community again?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Jimmy's Doghouse, $39. Were you aware that your wife was spending money at Demi's Doghouse at this level?
No, I was not.
Do you think it's reasonable?
No, I did not.
You asking the court to reimburse?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. Deposits $24.64, withdrawals $100, reimbursements $656. Deposits, We are looking at another e-deposit in branch stores, 415.50, 166, 1255. Are these, is this money from you to your wife to deposit in the account?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's a Jimmy's Doghouse 39. Did you, are you aware that your wife is spending this level of money at Jimmy's Doghouse?
No, ma'am.
Do you believe it's reasonable?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to deny it and reimburse?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, going down, Kathy. We've got Jimmy's Doghouse again and a withdrawal on Smith Street. Were you aware that your wife took $100 out of the bank account?
No, I did not.
Did you authorize her to take this $100?
No, I did not.
You think it's reasonable?
No, I did not.
You know what she's spending on?
I have no idea what you spent it on.
Okay, and with regard to Demi's Doghouse, it's another charge of $39. Were you aware that she was spending on Demi's Doghouse?
No, ma'am.
Are you asking the court to deny that transaction?
Yes,
And
yes, ma'am.
reimburse the community?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. This is a different bill pay, HOA, looks like. That's a house expenditure, and then Wolfgang, 30302. Were you aware that your wife spent this kind of money on Wolfgang
No,
and
ma'am.
the HOA?
On the HOA, she always told me she needed, I had to give her money for that. So I was brought, the money I was giving her, she was supposed to pay the HOA dues or save and pay it. I don't know if it was paid, I don't know, something used to be paid yearly, but I think she started paying it monthly. But she used the money from what I gave her to pay those HOA dues.
Okay, and did your money support her separate property residence?
Absolutely.
And do you think it's reasonable that you would pay for her separate property?
No, I do not.
Okay, you're asking to be reimbursed for that and for Wolfgang,
Yes, ma'am.
30302?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and 2 deposits were made. Smith Street, you made those, you gave her the money for those deposits?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Deposits $22.94, no withdrawals, $2,082.92 on reimbursements. Okay, Mr. Hodges, e-deposit, 2 e-deposits, one on 8/11/8, one on 11/12, 1540 and 352.48. Did you give your wife the money to deposit these funds?
Yes, I did, and she's using her phone to take pictures of a check, put it in account where you don't have to go to the bank.
How do you know that?
It changed before. It was different when you do it. It says because the e-pot is like electronic transfer, it stands for electronic transfer.
Oh, okay, okay. And with regard to the pink things, we've got Wolfgang Bakery again, 20408. And then you have some additional things whereby you are paying bills on on your wife's separate property. Do you think this is reasonable?
It is not reasonable, man.
And are you asking the court to deny these charges and reimburse the community?
Yes, I am, man.
Okay, thank you. And there was ABC doors that looks like something having to do with the house, a door. Did you put a door on the house?
No. Can I explain, Judge, or?
Oh, go ahead, Mr.
Hold on, she gotta ask you a question. She needs to ask.
I'll ask him. What is ABC doors?
Okay, ABC doors are, only reason I remember this because it was a big deal. She said the back door was not sitting properly. And
Who is she?
Lynn Hodges said the door was not sitting properly. It was causing a leak. So she called the builder and made a big old deal about the builder, about the house not properly, because she has information on the windows, doors, floors, everything in that house. And she complained to the builder. So they wouldn't resolve it. So she ended up got some type of deal where they did fix the door, but it cost her money.
Okay, and it cost the $213.54.
Yes.
Okay, and Wolfgang is here again for $33.64. You think these charges are reasonable?
No, they're not, ma'am.
And did you agree to pay this money?
No, I did not.
Okay, you asking the court to reimburse the community?
I am.
Okay. Okay, Demi's Doghouse, $39. Bill paid for house expenses. Purchase on Kingsland Boulevard and Wolfgang Bakery, $103. Go down a little bit more, Kathy, and see if there's anything under there. Okay. Do you see these expenditures, Mr. Hodges?
I do, ma'am.
Were you aware of these expenditures?
I was not aware of these expenditures.
Did you, do you think they are reasonable for you to pay?
No, ma'am.
And you're asking the court to reimburse the community?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Go down, Kathy. Okay, Wolfgang Bakery, 7434. Wolfgang Bakery, 3114. Something on Kingsland Boulevard, 4990. Mr. Hodges, do you believe that, were you aware that your wife was spending this kind of money on Wolfgang and Kingsland Boulevard?
I was not.
Do you know what these expenditures are for?
I'm assuming that their purchase was for the dog.
Okay,
But like I said, Meredith World is a friendly family. I know she was hitting us that hard.
okay, so Maryland owns Wolfgang.
Meredith,
Meredith
a friend of the family.
owns Wolfgang. There's an e-deposit in the branch store. Did you give your wife the funds to make this e-deposit?
Yes, I did, man.
Okay, thank you. Okay, that's the end of the exhibit. Let's go to 20. January 7th, 2020, exhibit R14. Okay. Let's get started. Deposit 2101, withdrawal 240, reimbursement 2312. ATM withdrawal $100, Smith Street. Mr. Hodges, do you believe that your wife made this ATM withdrawal?
Yes, ma'am.
It's close by where she works?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There's an e-deposit of $9.95. Is this money you would have given to her?
Yes, ma'am.
Her being your wife?
Yes, ma'am. Money I would give to Lynn Hodges.
Okay, and then she would put it in the bank.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, here we have some more bill payments and other things to the house. Were you aware that these things were being paid?
I'm aware. I have to say I'm aware of the mud payments because she asked me for the money, and that she was using for the money I was giving to pay those. Okay,
So you authorized payment of these expenses?
I have to say yes, because I gave her money to pay those bills.
Okay, so the ones on 12/9?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's no problem. What about Wolfgang Bakery, 237.90?
I didn't know she was spending that much money at Wolfgang Bakery
With a friend?
with a friend.
And another one on Chewy.com, 156.31. Do you believe these expenditures are reasonable?
They're not.
Are you asking the court to reimburse the community for these expenses?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay, here's some more. Demi's Doghouse, 39. Not sure what these other three are. And the last one is Crafty K9, 39. Are you familiar with these expenses?
Yes, but can I explain?
Yes, you may. What do you know about?
Okay, that on that spoke search,
Uh-huh.
it's a search site to look up people's private information.
Oh,
And that's a fee for, if you want to find someone's background, Facebook, you're skip check, you're doing stuff to look up people. It's a PI site.
oh, do you use this site, Mr. Hodges? Is that how you know?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a private investigator, licensed private investigator.
So would these have been your expenses?
No, ma'am.
Oh, you didn't know anything about them?
No, I did not.
Okay.
May I say anything else?
Oh, what were you gonna say, Mr. Hodges, about these expenses?
In Mrs. Hodges' deposition, she stated that she used these accounts to see if I was cheating on her, like Spokane and search site, what she stated to use them for. So I didn't know until her deposition what she used them for.
Okay, so she was checking on you.
That's what she stated in her deposition to use them for.
Okay. So do you believe that you should be responsible for payment of these, of this?
I should not be responsible for paying for that at all.
For Demi's and the Crafty K9? You asking the court to have the community reimbursed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. 1223 Kingsland Boulevard. Looks like these bill pay. Are these the same? How many times do y'all pay bill or mud taxes?
I guess I noticed from just looking at these statements, I hadn't seen them before, but it seems like they're every monthly or they're coming really quick.
Yeah. Okay. Did you allow her, or you did say that you authorized her to pay these?
I provided the money and she paid them.
Okay. Do you think that it was reasonable for you to pay money to support Ms. Lynn Hodges' separate property?
No, I did not.
Okay. Are you asking the court to reimburse the community?
Yes, I am.
Okay. With regard to Wolfgang, again, he's at 146.32. Did you give, were you aware that your wife was spending out so much on Wolfgang?
No, I was not. And again, Miss Meredith, I thought she was really close to me. I thought we were getting a family. If she's family discount, she's always nice. I've taken her and her husband to eat. I made meals for them. I've done a lot of stuff for them free. I've checked people out for her as my job, and I thought she was giving a discount. Until I saw these bills, I didn't realize how much she was hitting us for.
Okay, and you asking the court to deny these charges and reimburse the community?
Absolutely.
Okay. E-deposit 708.50. You're familiar with that?
Yes, ma'am.
And that is your money that's being used. Oh, your not your money, but your money that's being used to pay for it.
Yeah, okay. It's money from the business that I gave Lynn so she could put it in the account to pay bills.
Okay. And I'm looking at looks like Chewy.com and Demi's Doghouse and some additional mud bills. Do you believe that these bills are reasonable? And are you asking the court to deny the charges and to reimburse the community?
Yes, I am.
Okay, do you believe the bills are reasonable?
They're not reasonable.
Okay. And that's an e-deposit.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Kathy, you can go on down. Deposit $16.50, reimbursement $13.67. Okay, purchase Kingsland Boulevard 105, $56.15, $160 it looks like. There's a Kingsland Boulevard purchase, a Wolfgang purchase, and Air Specialist purchase. Are you familiar with these charges, Mr. Hodges?
I am not.
Okay, you weren't aware that your wife was spending this kind of money on Wolfgang and the upkeep of her separate property home?
I was not.
Are you asking the court to reimburse the community for these charges?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Move down, Kathy. There's some additional mud bills here at the bottom of the page, 121. Were you aware of these payments, Mr. Hodges?
No, I was not.
Do you think that they are reasonable?
They're not.
Are you asking the court to reimburse the community?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Okay, 121, Wolfgang Bakery. 124, Doghouse. 131, Doghouse. 23, Chewy.com. Were you familiar with these charges, Mr.
No, ma'am.
Hodges? Do you support your wife spending this kind of money on Wolfgang and other dog things?
I do not.
Are you asking the court to reimburse the community?
Yes, I am.
Okay, that's going down. There's some bill pay, mud. Looks like we got mud stuff again. Are you asking the court to reimburse the community, Mr. Hodges?
I am.
Do you believe it's appropriate that you pay on your wife's separate property residence?
I do not.
Okay. And there's an e-deposit that you gave her the money to put in the bank.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Deposit 5,400, withdrawal 80, reimbursement 2517.62. Okay, there's an e-deposit for $14.58. Is it, Mr. Hodges, is that your money that you gave the wife?
Yes, that's the money from the business that I gave Ms. Hodges.
Okay, and then there's an ATM withdrawal for $80 and the Wolfgang Bakery for $111.68. Are you asking the court to reimburse the community for this purchase authorized at Wolfgang Bakery?
Say that one more time.
Are
Ms.
you
Fair.
asking the court to reimburse the community for this purchase at Wolfgang?
I am.
You think it was reasonable?
No, it's not.
An ATM withdrawal on West Grand Parkway, do you know what that money was used for?
I have no idea.
Are you asking that the community be reimbursed?
Yes.
Okay, let's go on down. Okay, hold on, Kathy, that's it. Bill paying, link, Wolfgang, Demi's Doghouse. Wolfgang, 137.53, Demi's Doghouse, 39. And a bill pay, a couple of bill pays maybe up at 211. Are you familiar with that, Kathy? I'm sorry, not
No, I'm
Kathy,
not.
Mr. Hodges.
I knew you was talking to me.
Yeah. Do you believe these charges are reasonable?
No, I do not.
Are you in agreement with them?
No, I do not.
Are you asking the court to reimburse the community?
Yes, I am.
Okay. We didn't do, there's a Wolfgang Bakery here for 164.27. And I asked you the same questions. Do you think that the charge is a reasonable one, and were you aware that these charges were being expended?
No, and they're not reasonable, Ms. Spence.
Okay, you asking the court to reimburse the community?
Yes, I am, Ms. Spence.
Okay, thank you. He deposit 154.45. You recall, or would it have been your money that made this
Yes.
deposit?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Jimmy's Doghouse, 39, another bill, mud pay bill. Do you believe your money should support the separate property of your wife?
No,
And do you believe that the charges, the expenditures at Demi's Doghouse and the mud expenditures are reasonable?
they're not.
Okay, you asking the court to reimburse the community?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Let's see. Another purchase with Wolfgang Bakery, 86.58. Are you familiar with that, Mr. Hodges?
I am not.
Do you believe that the cost is reasonable?
It is not.
Are you asking the court to reimburse the community?
Yes, I am.
Now we've got an e-deposit and a tax something for 773.26 and 301388. These look like deposits into the branch. Would both of those have been yours,
I
Mr.?
don't think the one is for the tax. I have no idea what it is, so,
Okay, so that wouldn't have been you,
no, ma'am.
but the $3,013 is your money.
Yeah, or, yes, ma'am, from the business. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Going down a little bit, Kathy. We got two Pearland Animal Hospital, $1,308 and $431. Were you aware that your wife spent this kind of money at Pearland Animal Hospital?
No, ma'am. Can I say something?
About Pearland?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what do you want, and what else do you have to say about Pearland Medical Center?
Some of the charges, and I like I said, I had an account. It's an account where she was authorized to charge with certain. I can't remember the name of the thing, but you could charge veterinary service. It's a dental plan where it's like credit card, like Citibank, where they allow to veterinary charges and some of the stuff. I thought she was telling me she had access to that account where she just charged to my account. So I didn't know she was paying I had no idea, none whatsoever.
None whatsoever. Any idea of what?
How much she was paying.
Oh, how much?
Because like I said, we use my account to pay for other treatments and stuff, right?
Okay.
But like I said, I didn't know she was 13, that's a lot of money. So
Yeah, it's a lot of money. She didn't talk to you about any of this?
No.
Or did she?
no, she did not.
Okay.
Then she used my card. She'd say, yeah, I'm billing on a card. And I said, okay, just pay it.
Okay, okay. So do you believe that these expenses are reasonable, Mr.
No, they're not.
Hodges?
They're
Are you
not.
asking the court to deny them and reimburse the community?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Ms. Phoenix, can I clarify? He's talking about the 2 charges on 3-5 that he gave his card for?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify what charges y'all were referencing.
Yes.
And
These
it's-
are Miss Lynn's bank statements.
Yeah, can I clarify that, Heflin?
You may.
Okay, what I was saying is, I thought some of the charges, particular charges she's referring to that parallel, is being charged to my card. You know, I have it's like a dental card or dental card where you can charge. The same thing I did with my braces. I put my brace on that plan, and we found out we could do some dog stuff. And she said, okay, I don't have the money. So she said, okay. I said, okay. And she checked my card and she was charging it on that card. So I didn't realize that she was paying that type of money for that, whatever she was doing. She never discussed it with me.
Which you're mentioning something that's not in this bank statement. That's what I'm confused about.
Correct. He's talking about something else, but let's move on this.
For the payment.
Oh, you're saying something about the payment?
Yeah, because I didn't know she was.
Okay, okay, well. Okay. Let's move on.
I need a break. I need a break.
Kathy, oh Lord, Judge Kathy needs a
Well,
1 minute
we're
break.
about to finish for the day because it's 5 o'clock. How much longer do you anticipate, Ms. Phoenix, when you're direct? I mean, we've got, if we're going to go through each month here, looks like we probably have, what, 7 more months to go through or so?
Okay.
8.
Yeah, Judge, but they've got other accounts, and that's I don't know if they're planning on going through all the other accounts as well.
We'll sit down and try to streamline it, Judge, before we come back.
Well, and you know, the summaries work too. So, you know, because, well.
Yes, when we get back, Judge, I'll try to cut a lot of this out.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and break for the day. We'll resume on the 15th at 1:30. And we need to finish.
We will, Judge.
We'll streamline
I
it.
give you my word, I'm gonna streamline it.
Okay.
Judge, because at this pace, we're not going to be finished for another 2 days.
I
No, we
understand.
want to be done, we want to divorce before the holidays.
Well, I understand, but we're gonna have to move to get that done. But I can tell
I'll
you
do
that
it.
the court has been reviewing all the evidence while this case is going on. So I've reviewed all your exhibits for the most part. So I'm working, when I'm looking down, I'm not nodding off. I'm reading stuff,
I wasn't sure.
but I'm listening as well. So I'm getting the evidence.
Yes, sir.
Y'all, what we're gonna do is go ahead and break for the day. We'll resume at 1:30 on the 15th. Thank you. We're going off the.
Thank you, Judge.